Here we are, motherfuckers!
Welcome to 2025.
Wait, does that if I swear, does that like demonetize it immediately?
No.
Are you sure?
We've been saying fuck like every podcast episode.
Should we start this one off a little more family friendly?
Hello. Welcome, friends and family. That was bad.
Sorry.
We got a little ring for a beer bell here in the middle.
Do you remember, listener?
Do you remember how I gave that to Brian in like January 2023?
Still here.
Still making a thump on the table every time we do it.
We could probably make an isolator if you want.
If this is the first episode of the podcast that you're listening to, don't. This really needs to be. This is for the people that have been hanging around for a long time.
This is
the
for
only
you.
people that would ever care about listening to something like this. We're starting off the year with the Yopisode guide. We've done this once before for Batman the Animated Series when we finished it. Which is, throughout the entire show, Brian has been saying all the different synopses of every episode. Are you looking at how thick this stack of paper is?
Jamie, that's a lot.
This is the same as last time.
It was a lot last time.
Yeah, I know. As you shove bread in your mouth. It was a lot last time. It's Boss Biggest here.
I got that joke now.
Thank you. Yeah, now. Only now do you get that. But now that we're almost all the way through New Batman Adventures and Superman the Animated Series, and we're also at the end of a year, we're starting a new show. It felt like the right time, for me anyway, to do the next batch of Yopisode guiding.
Do you think anybody likes me?
I hope so. You're just
What do you
sitting here
think?
I do think, and I like you.
Oh,
So it all works out.
you don't count.
So some stuff that we did last time, and I didn't go back and listen to last Yopisode guide to get any sort of hints. For one, it was 3 hours long. It's going to be again probably, but the opening, like how we started and like where we got to, or any sort of rules or anything, all that shit's out the window. When I have all sorts of like, the structure of every podcast episode doesn't really mean anything this time. Can we separate your XLR cable from that more somehow? Okay. It's just going to keep doing that. But yeah, so it's what we do is we read all of Brian's synopses out loud.
Not just mine.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's a guest or sometimes I pop in or whatever, but it's the name of the episode is the subtitle that we gave it in a stupid way, and then the synopsis. So we're just going to fucking do it. I've written down some suggestions for when we take drinks. Last time we took drinks on just when you said fast forward.
Right.
You didn't say fast forward very many times during this because we knew, we're going to have to do that. So my suggestions, and you can have input on this, is fast forward. Just keep it the rule forever. For some reason, as another phrase that's used. It's not used a ton, but it will appear in here several times.
Okay.
And then Brian forgets the name of a character.
No!
But I've written in parentheses, perhaps this one is drinking water. Because we should probably even it out.
That's fair.
So maybe we need water before we start with that. But well, we should mention, we'll do a little giveaway at the end of this for you get the physical copy of the episode of the guy that we sign and stuff. I figured we would.
Yeah. Are we going to stain it with alcohol again?
I mean, it'll happen because halfway through I'll accidentally spill my Guinness on the soundboard.
I don't care about your soundboard.
Yeah, on the Yopisode guy.
Don't do it on the desk.
Oh, okay. We're going to start with episode 87, Kansas Doesn't Care. Brian gave me an open glass of water. He said, should we have pint glasses for the beers? And I said, yeah, that way I can knock it into the soundboard. And he said, let's not do that. It was a good idea.
Your goal is to not spill anything on this table tonight.
Yeah. Okay, I will try. We ring the bell when the phrases happen. Yeah, I think this is what's happening.
Yeah, okay, here, I'll bring it over here.
Do we have like a water bell? Like a bell, like something else we can do for water so that it's not the same ding? Do you have like a toy that does a clown nose? You got a clown nose somewhere, circus boy? Brian reminded me we have a bunch of buttons that have sounds. So we could do, I'm eating bread, I'm sorry.
We're trying to be a little bit wiser this year. Oh, that's good.
For water.
Okay.
Like, hell yeah, water. Okay. Kansas Doesn't Care. We open up, and there is Superman's dad. I didn't write down his parents' names.
Oh, water!
Superman's dad, Jor-El, is on an icy planet, and he's looking for stuff. And then he battles a hentai slug. So Jor-El is fighting an alien squishy spring roll, and he's gathering information for some reason.
Oh my God. Jamie? We're not doing 114 proof. Give me one of these, motherfucker. Cheers.
Over the soundboard. Okay.
Great.
Turns out, in the eyes of everybody else, he's a conspiracy theorist for, like, the planet of Krypton. Because they got a computer called Brainiac, and he's got something against Jor-El. Nobody believes him. So the Superman parents leave Ice Planet with Superman in tow. That's not their names. Whatever.
Oh my God. What the fuck, Brian?
That's not his name yet. Kal-El. So they're all like, the computer's like disguising shit for some reason. He's doing a cover-up. Nobody believes me, Superman's dad, and I'm going to try to convince them anyway. Nope, it doesn't work. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to hack into this computer system. Hey, guess what? The computer doesn't want me to hack it. This is all Jor-El, by the way. Jor-El is like, hey, everyone, listen to me. He's fucking up and going to ruin stuff. And they're like, nah, the computer knows everything. And then he's like, but. And they're like, nah. Fast forward, oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, listeners.
Okay, switching to beer was maybe a good choice, but also, oh my God.
Yeah. We're not even through the first episode. Fast forward, it turns out that, he's right, and the world's going to blow up for, I don't know, tectonic reasons or something. Jor-El goes one final time to figure out what's going on with the computer. The computer's like, no, I'm going to lock you out and tell everybody to shoot you. And then Jor-El's like, no! And then they start shooting him. He's making a great getaway. He goes back to wifey, and computer's like, oh, by the way, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to die in like a couple hours. And he's like, fuck. So Jor-El's like, I'm going to launch my baby into space. And mom's like, you got to be kidding me. And the granddad's like, you got to be kidding me. And he's like, I'm not. And they're like, fuck, okay. So they launch the baby into space. Brainiac uploads all his information.
Wait a minute. This was at the live podcast, right?
No, this is the first episode of Superman.
Oh my God. Oh, that wasn't World's Fight. Wait a minute.
What are you doing?
No, that was...
This old man's losing his mind.
I'm losing my mind.
He's so drunk.
It's been a long day.
This was in your shed. This was in your shed house. We watched the first episode of Superman.
Wow, okay.
Brainiac uploads all his information into space, and then he fucks off in a satellite. So then Krypton blows up in a big kaboom, and I think some people are probably okay. Then that's the episode. Episode 1. You want to continue for episode 2, the second bullet point here?
Shit, man.
Mm-hmm. Give me the ringer.
This is too big. I can work
Okay.
Super baby lands on Earth. What are his air quotes parents' names?
God.
Do we need background music again?
No. Maybe eventually.
Okay.
But we had stock music before playing, and then that picked up still. Like we had like a live stream of just like royalty-free jazz music, and it still picked up as a copyrighted thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
Whatever. People can deal with it.
What are his air quotes parents' names? John and Marty. John and Martha are driving, and a spaceship lands upon, and what? Are driving, and like spaceship lands upon. And she's like, holy fuck, a space baby. Let's name it. And he's like, I don't know. But then, lol, they just adopt him and the state doesn't question them at all. It's fine. Kansas doesn't care.
Yeah.
So then Superman's all, Clark, whatever. Does that count?
No, I think that's fine. I think that's okay.
Named after Martha's maiden name. We get Clark growing up, and suddenly he's a teenager, and he's like, yeah, I'm like seeing, I need to stop saying like.
I cut out most of the likes.
Oh my God. Seeing girls in locker rooms, and I'm hearing people whispering. So then Clark is all going back to his parents, John and Martha, and being like, hey, why all this stuff happening? And they're like, hey, check out this spaceship that you haven't seen in your like 17 years, something like that. And they're like, also this box, which didn't seem like it came from a spaceship. Martha just kind of had it on her. It's his whole thing, and it scrambles some stuff, and it looks like a Superman logo, and then it brain talks, and Clark gets to meet his parents in a hologram / hallucinatory sort of experience, and he just gets the whole story of his past and his planet. We fast forward.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Clark is all like, oh, I got these powers and now I want a job at a newspaper. And so he gets that. There's a jet.
That's as easy as it is, kids.
There's a jet. If everyone want a job, just get it. There's a jet, and there's a jet that's like, well, there's a bad guy. Does that count?
I don't know.
Okay, they're doing a press thing. They're at a press conference, and fucking Lex Luthor. He's got a big robot suit and he's like, yeah, the military is going to love this. And then, somebody stole it. And then Clark is like, I'm going to be S-Man and I'm going to go get this thing back. So Superman goes after these people who stole his robot suit and they're terrible. Did I lose that? And they're terrible. They're terrible shots on their little jet bikes. S-Man, he's going after this jet that stole the robot. And there's missiles flying everywhere. And one of those missiles goes astray and hits a jumbo jet and it blows off a wing. And Superman's like, wow, how did I not hear that jet? End of episode 2. Batman, or oh my God, Clark. Clark kind of accidentally maims an airplane. End of bullet point 2.
Oh my God. All right. This is part 3. He's like, hey, I'm going to try to save this airplane. He's flying in front of this crashing jet and steering it through the city streets and eventually kind of like gingerly drops it on some people in a boat. And then whenever we read these, do you have are you like visualizing, remembering things that are happening? Yeah. Okay, cool. This is also like the tiniest point of the episode guide is also to like refresh you on what we've watched so far. Okay, gingerly drops on some people in a boat and then crashes right before it's going to slaughter a mime. And then Superman kind of flies off and everybody sees him and takes video footage. And some guy's got a 2,000 millimeter lens on a Sony Handycam. Lois Lane looks up at Superman flying. She looks at the footage of him and is like, nice S. It's just like ass. And then the newspaper dude's like, Lois Lane, we need to get an interview with Superman. And then Superman just happens to be under her car as she's driving home. And he's like, I'm going to pick up your car and let's go to somewhere to talk. Or somewhere quiet to talk. So that happens, and Superman gives her a brief interview. Lois is trying to figure out where the robot went. So they're like, Kaznia, it's a country, and there's all sorts of political stuff going on there. You should probably not like them. So Lois goes to check out this boat where there was some gun smuggling going on. She's like, I'm going to go by myself. It's fine. Hey, random crony, here's 75 cents. You should definitely call the cops for me. And he's like, yeah, unless I want a soda. Lois is all like, hey, guys on the gunboat, let's talk about some stuff that you got in the gunboat. And he's like, it's nothing. And then a door happens to open up and she's like, oh, it's that big Lex Luthor robot thing? And he's like, well, I guess we're going to shoot you. And Superman's like, pfft. Oh, by the way, he is Superman now. They called him that in the newspaper. There's a big fight, and then the baddest of bad guys jumps in the robot suit, and there's a battle that just destroys like the whole fucking city. Superman's sometimes getting like squashed into cars, but he's okay. And other times he's getting shocked, and he's not okay. Superman ends up ripping the thing limb from limb. The bad guy gets apprehended, we're guessing, because Superman's holding him. Or Superman punches him in the face and he explodes. And then the episode kind of wraps up, and then lo and behold, Satellite Brainiac is in space. And he meets the Chin people. And then he grows arms and destroys the Chin people. And then he's like taking over a spaceship. Oh yeah, Superman plays the long silent game with his arms crossed and just looks at Lex. Lex gets really mad and he's like, I'm going to be watching you. And then he flies away and Lex is like, no, I don't want that. And then the Brainiac thing happens. Whee! The end.
Oh my God.
I guess you get episode 88, Step Bruno Rimmed with Windows. Dylan Pollock. I put the top who read the synopsis if it's not you.
Oh yeah, thank you, Dylan. This is shorter than what I just did.
It is.
So there's a bunch of henchmen who just like who just stole like a car. Is that how it starts? Police chase. They've got the car. They're in the back little warehouse area. All of a sudden they hear a guy who's like, hey, you got to send Mannheim a message. But he does it way creepily. He's like, I'm not going to do an impression of him. It's not good. He wants him to send a message to Bruno Mannheim, which it feels like he was just planning on killing them. So I guess that would have been the message. He starts bouncing a ball, which way against physics just keeps gaining velocity and gets bouncier and bouncier no matter what. And it starts to hurt them. Superman hears one of them scream for help. He saves them. Fast forward.
Oh. Do we do it when Dylan says stuff or other people say stuff? I guess we do.
I think it's just the catchphrase. we've got Lois and Jimmy. They're then like just overhearing things, and Lois is like, let's go to a picnic, which seems like a weird suggestion at the time, but I guess she knew that Bruno Mannheim would be at the park. All of a sudden, there's a bunch of toy airplanes, and they're just, I remember this. They're also trying to kill Bruno Mannheim. Then his ass is sticking out of the slide, and it looks like one of those videos you see on the internet. Not that I watch those. Fuck, Dylan, fast forward.
Oh my God. You're doing it on purpose.
All of a sudden, we've got Bruno Mannheim's on a boat, and he's like, phew, I'm glad I'm not stuck in that slide anymore. Thanks, hench bros. Henchmen are like, no problem. All of a sudden, okay, Dylan's is all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Giant duck.
Did you know it was all of the sudden, by the way? I've been saying all of a sudden my entire life.
Yeah. I knew it's but I don't say it that way.
Okay, all right, cool. Anyway.
Then all of a sudden, giant duck, and he's like, shoot the duck, and the duck just starts killing them, which I feel like for those henchmen's wives and children must have felt really bad to be like, your father was killed by a duck. No, not like a regular one, a big one, but still. Then Lois gets captured by the doll, the Nighty Night doll, Miss Nighty Night or something.
Oh, does that count as forgetting a character?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
All right. Wait, you get it. Oh, right. I forgot that was mine.
We all got to share. And Mannheim got captured by Bubble Dust. Toyman, everything's going according to the toy plan. And then all of a sudden, Superman shows up and Toyman shows like an ounce of emotion because he's a really freaky dude who doesn't show any emotion. And Toyman blows up everything. And then Bruno Mannheim's like, glad we won't see him again. And then they're like, we probably will because there's no body, just this creepy mask thing left behind. Thank you, Dylan.
What's mine?
89. Here you go. 89. Don't worry about it.
It's Alpo Halpo Hapo Halihatko, which I don't remember what that stood for something.
Who does that?
You. There's a museum thing that Lex is opening for some publicity, and he's all like, yeah, check out this shit. And some robbers are like, ha, I'm going to rob this shit. And then Superman's like, no, you're not going to rob it, except, whoa, I'm standing too close to these green rocks. And then Superman becomes useless and the robbers get away. Superman's all like, what happened? And then people are, Lex and his henchwoman are figuring out what happened because they have security cameras. And they're just like, wow, he stood too close to those rocks. Superman got too close to Kryptonite, which wasn't named Kryptonite yet. So Superman's getting messed up, and Lois Lane is like, hey, a scientist gave me this sliver of Kryptonite. And he's like, cool, give it to me. Ouch! And then he starts getting all sicky, and Lex is like, okay, I got this figured out. I'm going to fuck up Superman with my big rock. We're just going to, fast forward through this one. It was a big rock. Oh, there's jetpack guys. There's a fight. There's jetpack guys. There's a fight. They lure Superman in by stealing some money plates just to test the whole rock hypothesis on him. And yep, sure enough. So Superman goes into the museum. The dinosaur's now animatronic. He spits a freaking kryptonite loogie at him. Lois is like, no one's ever named this shit but kryptonite. And then Lois basketballs the kryptonite into a lead cup, which, by the way, hey, check it out. Lead is the one thing that kryptonite's radiation can't go through. Superman fastball pitches it into space, and it seems as though the kryptonite lands without its lead casing on a planet with some boxes that say LexCorp. I don't know the rules of this universe because it's dumb. You get episode 90. Jesus has returned and he's hot pink. Look, it's so weird. When we did the episode guide for btas, I feel like every single subtitle and description was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Ha ha ha. Half of these are like, what was that title? Where did that come from? I have no memory of this.
What is this one that I've...
It's at the very bottom. Jesus has returned.
No, I'm talking about the Halpo.
I think it was a phrase that stood for something, and then we said the acronym of that would be the title or something.
Oh,
I don't really remember.
Fucking hell. Okay, there's a couple of henchmen. Don't you know it? Rudy is not a certified forklift operator, but he manages to get some big jars of toxic waste in the back of a pickup truck, and security guards come over and they're like, hey, dude, maybe don't. And then the bad guy who's driving the truck is like, maybe do. And then he starts shooting. Rudy ends up in the back of the truck and the truck's doing some crazy shit. Rudy's just standing in it for some reason rather than jumping out to safety. these toxic waste vats. Remember how back in ye olde day, gallon jugs of milk used to have like the lamest little pop top? So picture like 50 gallons of nuclear waste with a top that's about as secure as old milk jars, gallon things. There's some really shiny grape juice and it gets spilled all over Rudy, and Rudy is like turning into Swamp Thing. And then he turns into a dude who can suck the life out of rats. So he goes on a binge of sucking, just sucking. Oh, just sucking people and sucking animals, and he's grabbing people and giving them the suck. So Rudy's the parasite, and he's giving people the suck, the grab and suck. He's like stealing powers, and it turns out he could basically just steal everything from everybody. Their voices, their memories, their powers if you're Superman. Parasite Rudy manages to catch Superman by making him a little weakling, and he chains him up. And he's like, I'm just gonna like, you're just gonna be here. And whenever I need to refuel, I'm just gonna like boink you on the forehead and take your powers again. Jimmy comes, sometimes I think I'm pretty good at this. Yeah. Jimmy comes to save the day because he's in a broom closet and he hears banging. And he's like, that's definitely Morse code. Superman's all fucking hell.
Remembering the scene. Man.
Superman's all chained up in the back room at Star Labs. And he's like, I hear Jimmy in the other room. I'm gonna tap SOS and Morse code on this pipe. Jimmy comes to help free Superman, but then the parasite comes in and Superman's like, hey, get the heck out of here. The evil version of me is here to mess things up. But Superman manages to get out with Jimmy's help, and Superman boinks him in the head with some kind of big hook thing. Superman then does a like, ooh, chase me, parasite. And then he chases him to the lab where previously in the episode, we got to see that some scientist dude made up an anti-kryptonite suit for Superman.
That count? That's a water one. Some scientist dude. It was Professor Hamilton. I guess this is not an instance where you're struggling with the name, though. Let's keep it obvious.
Okay.
I don't want to get too hydrated.
And Superman's now hiding in the suit, and Superman's having a fight, and now his powers can't be sucked until Parasite pins him against the wall and breaks this kind of safe thing behind Superman, but you can't see what it is. And bolts you on the little nose.
That should be boops.
Boop. Yeah. Zap, boop your nose. Gonna steal your power, Superman. Boop, boop. So then he starts to get in there. And then Superman last minute kind of rolls out of the way, and Parasite full on grabs the big hunk of kryptonite and is like, oh no. And he turns green. And then I thought he was just going to be Kryptonite Man and be like, wow, Superman's really fucked now. But no, it ruins his brain or whatever. And he gets put into jail, and they're like, well, I bet he doesn't even remember his name now. And then the episode ends with a cockroach crawling up his leg, and then he boop the cockroach. and then his eyes glow, and he's like, oh, I'm getting stronger again. So that's not the last we've seen of him. Episode 91, Jamie, give her the uranium pump. I'm gonna go grab our bread.
Okay. Brian, you were like, oh, bolt? Do you mean boop? It says little lightning bolts on your little nose. Like that's what you read as bolts, and that's correct.
Wait, what? Did I get lost?
I guess so.
Sick.
Yeah, and then Parasite rips off the face mask and says, I'm gonna boop your nose, give you the little boop nose, little lightning bolts on your little nose, zap boop your nose, gonna steal your powers, Superman, boop boop. That's the full line. You skipped a line, yeah. All right.
I suck.
It's only tiniest font ever. 91, give her the uranium pump. Uranium pump. All right, get ready. So Corbin Johnson. He's in prison and he's getting fancy foods. And then he's like, I'm kind of having a heart attack. And the guard's like, do you want help? And he's like, nope. He's like, you keep eating Taco Bell. Maybe it's all that rich ass Taco Bell you're eating. And then there's a doctor and he's like, guess what? You like kind of have this nasty virus and it's going to kill you like really like in a couple days. And then he's like, I don't want that. And the doctor's like, but check it out. Lex Luthor wants to turn you into Metallica. And he's like, I do like Metallica. Seek and Destroy was one of the greatest rock songs of all time. Corbin gets turned into Metallica. I think that counts. It's water. It's fine. You're going to do this more than anything.
We are going to pee so much.
Yeah. Corbin gets turned into Metallica. And basically Lex Luthor's like, okay, buddy, here, buckle up. So check it out. This is Lex Luthor. I got an idea for you. What if you like take off your skin and we like pull out your consciousness with a syringe or however, they don't really talk about it. And then we like give you a robot body and we like cover it in your skin. Is that cool? And he's like, yep. And then he becomes a robot and he's like, I can't feel or smell or drink or eat anything. And he's like, I'm going to go beat up Superman as a result. So he fights a train and some cops, and then Corbin Johnson gets away. Then Superman's like, you know what? I'm going to unget him away. And then they're all like, it's time to fight Superman and Metallica. And so Metallica and Superman are duking it out. And then Metallica's like, guess what? I got a green rock in my heart. So then Kurt Cobain or whatever is having a bad time. And Lois Lane is like, I've got a Porsche 944 that looks like kind of strange. But that's basically what it is. Or 928? Lois Lane pulls up in her porch. And then Superman's like, I'm going to take your car. I'm going to run Metallica off the road. And it works. And then Lois Lane's got a real pointy manicure. And then fast forward and oh shit. Thank you. Someone had to remember. Mm-hmm. And Metallica RoboCop. No, just Metallica. Metallica goes to Lex Luthor's yacht and is like, I'm going to throw your girl into the ocean. And then that's the last we're going to see of her. So that's cool. Let's go drive some more. She's fine. 100 miles from land. She's fine. She can definitely swim that far. No sharks. And they're like, let's talk on a boat. You got to get me Superman. And Superman's like, hey, yo, what's up, girls? I'm here. Ha ha. There's a big fight between Superman and Metallica. And then Superman's like, bro, yo, check it. Lex Luthor was poisoning you with this virus in your food. How do you think you got it? And then he's like, right. I'm going to fuck up Lex Luthor. And then Superman's like, heh, lol. And he blows up the boat. And then Corbin Johnson's like, I'm going to like drown but not drown because I don't have lungs anymore. And Lex Luthor's like, I'm going to have Superman save me so I don't get sharked to death. And then we close out the episode with Corbin having a Pirates of the Caribbean undead walk. All right. You get the top of the next page, Brainiac's Ball Pit, episode 92.
Don't put that in the back.
Oh, you're right. What am I doing? I got to put it on the stack, not in the back. Here you go.
Thank you. We opened the Batman the Animated Series episode, The Forgotten, which I kind of accidentally guessed that Brainiac was Brainiac. Brainiac comes to Earth and he's like, Lex Luthor, what if we were butt buddies? and Lex Luthor's like, I'll do anything for money. And Superman's all like, hey, what are you doing? Lex Luthor's like, hey, you should go talk to Brainiac and fight his robots. And Superman's like, well, what if, my brain like never wants to stay on a single line. Mm-hmm. Well, something about that just doesn't sound trustworthy, but okay. And then he goes to fight some robots, and Brainiac's like, haha, just testing. By the way, there's a big circle and it's got your family in it. Touch my balls, Superman.
Big circle has got your family in it.
I've got a whole bunch of them. You will see God when you touch my balls. And he did. But instead of God, he sees his parents, which is really interesting. Freud might have a field day with that one. Yeah, it turns out Brainiac's got a whole bunch of balls, and they're basically in the basically the living history of planets that Brainiac destroyed. Are we surprised? Nah. So we fast forward. It's fine. Mm-hmm. To the end of the episode, and Superman's fighting Brainiac and kind of losing. And then Lex Luthor is trying to fire missiles. And oh, by the way, at the beginning of the episode, didn't say anything about how Brainiac showed up, but I don't know. There was some kind of wind in a trash tornado. Okay, where was I? Lex Luthor's throwing missiles at the spaceship that Brainiac's in. And Superman grabs his family's planet circle and he's like, I'm out of here. And then the spaceship slowly crashes and we see some light in a mushroom cloud. And we're like, well, Brainiac is definitely never coming back after that for sure. And Superman goes to the Arctic and he finds a stalagmite that's just like precariously balanced next to an above ground ... Superman finds himself in the Arctic somewhere and there's like an ice cave kind of thing with an active waterfall and a stalagmite right next to the waterfall and a polar bear. And he's like, this is a safe place to keep all of my planet's history.
That is really what he does.
Episode 93, Eggy Wrinkles, Personal Zoo.
Yay. Eggy Wrinkles. The show opens up and this alien hairy biker dude named Lobo. Oh, yeah, okay. The show opens up and Superman's doing space shit. Clackety clack, dog. Can you just go lie down and not clackety clack?
No. Go lay down.
But you have food.
No.
Anyway, Superman's doing space shit, flying a big rocket at questionable amounts of miles per hour. We can't really get a handle on it. And then we go to Lobo in the Steaming Load. So there's a Steaming Load. It's a dive bar. It's an interplanetary dive bar called the Steaming Load. And this bad biker guy is trying to get some tiny dude named Squeak, I think. That's right. So this Lobo dude is a bounty hunter. He's the main man. He keeps calling himself the main man in this kind of like Hulk Hogan sort of way. And 80s/90s rock guitar happens when he's around. And he blows up a bar and Squeak's brother's like, hey, I'm going to get my brother back. I'm the bigger one and he's the tiny one. He's got a rat mouth and also a face around the eye, which makes his eye a mouth. Why isn't the other eye another?
Wow.
Why isn't the other eye another person? But so Lobo's got his bounty and he's out in space, and this other wrinkly villain tractor beams him in and is like, hey, I really like putting the last of species behind glass. What do you think about that? And he's like, I'll go get Superman. And he's like, sick. So Lobos goes to get Superman on Earth, and he's like, Superman, let's fight. And then Superman's like, hell yeah, let's fight. And then they fight. And then they fight some more, and then Superman punches him out into space or whatever. That's not true, but, you know, Lobo ends up back in space after some punches. Then Superman's like, well, he left Earth, but I can't be promised that he's going to leave Earth, so I might as well go after him. And then they get within tractor beam distance of wrinkly bad guy or wrinkly villain, Humpty Dumpty. He's pretty eggy. And Eggy Wrinkles fucking tractor beams him in and then knocks him out or whatever. Do we count that? Do we count that? His name is a preserver. Yeah. Tractor beams him in and knocks them out or whatever. And Superman wakes up and it looks like Krypton. This Krypton-looking prison. And then Lobo's like, ha ha, see you later, twerp. And then Eggy Wrinkles is like, well, you're the twerp. You're also the last of your species. And then he bops him in a big glass. And then that's the end of the episode. To be continued. Oh, no. You get episode 94, Earth Sunned by a yellow lamp.
Yep, that is how that's written.
That's how you said it.
Oh my God. We start off the episode and everything is exactly how we expected it to be from the last episode. Superman and Lobo are still in their respective cells. Lobo wakes up in what kind of looks like a dorm room or whatever. And he's got some robo babes.
What? Wet ass.
They're trapped, and Lobo's like, I'm gonna punch out of here. And then these robo babes are like, guess what? We're gonna gas you. And he's like, I've been gassed. And then he like falls asleep or whatever. Superman's like, I got a kind of reflective thing. I'm gonna annoy this 6-legged space rhino into charging into my enclosure here. So Space Rhino punches the enclosure with his face. It kind of busts open a hole, and Superman's like, well, I don't know, gets out of Superman like, I don't know, gets out of there. And even though the Space Rhino got in there, then Lobo's like, hey, Superman, I see you got out. Why don't you get me out of here? And then and Superman's like, I don't know. And Lobo's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. And the robo babes are like, we're gonna gas you. And he's like, shit. And then Superman's like, pinky swear that you're not gonna fuck up Earth. And he's like, okay, pinky swear. And Superman punches him out of there. Lobo ties the Robo Girls' gas tongues in a knot. Lobo gets out. Robo Girls are defeated. 4 more Robo guards show up. They defeat them, and then Squeak's brother and co show up, and they're like, hey, how about we kill this guy? And Eggy Wrinkles is like, yep.
Eggy Wrinkles is such a good
classic.
He'll never not be Eggy Wrinkles to me now.
Nope. Have you put that in a video yet?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember which one. But yeah.
They were sent by Clayface, which is cool. Leech Face Clayboy. He came out of the sea with a bunch of leeches, so now he's in space. Clayface is alive. There's another fight. We got Lobo and Superman. They're all teaming up now, fighting against Squeak's brother. Eggy Wrinkles is like, well, I guess it's up to me to mess everybody up. And Superman, meanwhile, goes into like the Earth Pen, where there's a dodo, and he gets like Earth Sunned by a yellow lamp.
That's the name of the episode.
Amazing, I guess. So then Superman starts beating up everybody, and Eggy Wrinkles comes out to beat. Can I give you this? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Comes out to beat up Lobo, and he's like, hey, guess what? I can crawl. Lobo tears the skin off of a giant desert snake. So glossing over that, Eggy Wrinkles is now the sloth from House and Garden. And he's got the 3 claws, and it's still a sloth. He's a big red space sloth. He's harder to fight, and Superman comes in and he's like, wow, this guy's harder to fight. Lobo's just laying on the ground now. And then Lobo's like, hey, guess what? I'm going to do a good thing. And he harnesses the powers of explosive decompression and more or less launches Eggy Slothy Wrinkles. He's like more or less shoots him into space, but he catches the door at the last minute. He's like, ooh, maybe he's going to get back in. And then like a microwave or something hits him in the gut and he flies out into space. That was so sad. And then we fast forward.
All right. Why do we have to fast forward?
because I'm bad at telling stories, to Lobos in like beach garb, and Clayface the Hut is getting bathed by Squeak and company, and Superman has taken the whole ship's worth of stuff back to his wank cabin. And the end.
Very nice.
Episode 95, Willem Dafoe as Elon Musk.
I was just reading these out loud. There's a fashion show, and Lana Lane shows up. I think that counts.
What?
You thought her name was Lana Lane for a couple episodes. At least it's water for the...
Yeah.
It's a nice balance. And she's all like, hello, I'm from Clark Kent's past. There's Clark Kent. He's my ex-boyfriend. Also, he's Superman, and I knew it. So Lex Luthor is making some arms dealings happen with like Elon Musk, who looks a little bit like Willem Dafoe. Vaguely Willem Dafoe thing going on. So we got Elon Musk being portrayed by Willem Dafoe. So basically, Lana Linza Langs, she's like, hey, Superman, I know you're Clark Kent. That's pretty cool, huh? Let's be a crime-fighting duo. I'm dating Lex Luthor because we got a quadruple L thing going on. So Lana Lang's like, I'm going to get this dirt on Lex Luthor because I'm dating him. I'm going to feed it to you. And Superman's like, bitch, you got to stop. And she's like, bitch, you got to stop. And they're just like slinging the bitches at each other. So there's some microwave guns that make a cool effect happen. And then it makes the molecules go boom. It's pretty keen. They shoot these laser looking guns, which apparently doesn't affect Superman because he doesn't have molecules, I guess. A deer jumps out of directly from behind a tree somehow. Microwave kind of explodey gun things. And then there's Lana Lang gets fed some false information to try to throw Superman off the trail because Lex is spying with binoculars. And like, my girlfriend's boinking Superman. That's a problem. Let's make bad stuff happen. And then Willem Dafoe, Elon Musk, is going to melt Lana in a lead factory. And Superman's like, I can hear good, so I'm here. There's a couple of girls that go to steal Lana Lang's dress jewels or something, and they're like, we're gonna pick up your girlfriend and we're gonna steal her. And then Superman's like, I'm gonna rip that elevator right off the wall. There's a part where there's a train that's gonna fall because the guy exploded half the bridge, and Superman's like, I'm gonna hold these spare rails that are here for probably some reason. I think that's a for some reason. Oh, that's a ding.
Oh
yeah, haven't had one for
wow. Yeah.
I'm gonna take them, fix the train tracks because I'm strong. Glossing over the physics of that scene, let's get to the end of the lead factory. Superman's reaction times are nil, and by nil, I don't mean quick. I mean he doesn't have them, and everything goes wrong. You shot the laser at this thing. History says it's going to explode, but I'm just going to sit here to see what... Oh my God, it explodes! Well, Superman saves everybody from molten lead, and Lana Lang goes to Paris Lane.
What?
I'm going to read that again because I fucked up. Lana Lane goes to Paris Lang. You're correcting yourself. You get a shorter one. Episode 96, Today's Maggie Sawyer Mean Stride.
Let's just start off with a drink of water here.
What do you say? I guess.
Eyebrows and Kimmy's sister are detectives.
Is that two? No.
Yeah. So there's some bad guys who are this crime group, and they're like really getting down, making crime happen. But Superman keeps foiling their plan, including stopping Tank from bank. Or other way around, I'm not sure. Then some mysterious figure shows up and is like, hey, crime gang, I see you need help. Here's weapons. And they're like, where weapons from? And he's like, don't worry about it. And so the crime gang starts to do really bad things, including messing up Superman in his day. And then Superman and Maggie and Turpentine.
Yeah, I guess so. And then we already hit it. Eyebrows was his name.
Eyebrows Turpentine. And the bad guys are now heavily outfitted with weapons that can even hurt Superman. But Turpentine comes through and helps out Superman in a pinch. And then the bad guy, the baddest boss guy, whose name I can't remember either.
God damn it.
Fuck!
We should have made this the beer one.
I disagree. Bruno Mannheim. Kanto can like disappear into air kind of with a portal thing. And Bruno Mars. God damn it. Holy
so hydrated
shit, man. I've got such a problem. Bruno Mars is like, hey, I'm gonna follow you, Kano, for Mortal Kombat, and then Kano's going, do I fucking
No, I think you're doing this on purpose this time. Like for these, the ones where you're like literally can't remember their name.
Kano's going to the portal, and then Bruno Mars jumps through the portal. Then they're like basically in hell, and they're like, wait, who's your boss? And Kano's like, it's the devil, check it out. And then he's like, my name is ... He looks for someone from Marvel. Oh, he looks like someone from Marvel, and I'm trying to put my finger on it. Apocalypse? Is that who I'm thinking? He says Apocalypse. Holy shit. They're on a planet. The end.
Great.
Episode 97. Hot tub.
Hot tub. We're all always just imagining that these are the like Kids WB like official synopses. It's
right.
Like, holy shit, they're on a planet. Oh, the end. Like next time. Yeah.
Making wrinkles.
Making wrinkles, making neggy wrinkles.
No.
The dogs hear it every time. I get so excited. All right, hot tub.
I liked this episode.
Yeah. A lot happened in this episode. Oh my God, does Waco happen? There's a lunatic.
Oh my God.
There's a lunatic, and he's in a compound that has been prepared for battle. And the military is all like, ram the thing. Oh no, I broke our ram. Send the dudes in.
God, that was ridiculous.
Our dudes are broken too. Turpentine got a burn on his knee, and he's
okay.
And he's like, I got all turpentined on my knee. I got to get out of here. So Superman's like, you know what? I can punch my way into this building. And so he punches his way into the building, and he's like, ha. And there's another door, and he's like, well, I'm going to punch this. And he's like, oh no, it's electricity. And he gets shocked. And this time the shocking's bad for him. He got so jellyfished. But then he's like, you know what doesn't get jellyfished? A door. So he throws a door through the door. That's cool. So then Superman gets through the second door, and he grabs onto it, even though it still seems to be shocky. And he doesn't get shocked the second time. So that's cool. And there's a big machine gun that, like, this one hurts him. This is right. You're right side up. Yeah. You're the top. Yeah. He's putting the stack of papers. But he puts his arms up so he doesn't get as hurt. So then Superman walks up to this big turret thing and is like, hey, I'm going to stop you from shooting. And he like breaks it. And then he flies through the door after seeing the bad guy. And he's like, hey, I'm going to mess you up. What do you think of that? And the guy's like, well, I got this bomb. What do you think of that? And Superman's like, I don't play those games. And then we get to see one of those hydraulic presses on like Instagram or TikTok. So it's Superman versus a hydraulic press, and then Superman wins in an actually pretty cool way. Some cable, something knocks him out. He's like, oh, there's a bomb. It's going to go off in 4 hours. Oh no, I'm knocked out for at least a day. And then they're like, well, he's knocked out in the hospital. We need help. So, hey, Rudy, AKA Parasite, you want to come like purple touch this guy's face? And he's like, if you give me a TV. He's all like, I'm asleep and I can't I'm asleep and I can't tell you stuff. And then Parasite's like, well, I can go in his brain and tell him stuff. And they're like, okay, so we're gonna Hannibal Lecter roll you into this room, and he's gonna touch you. You're gonna touch him or whatever. You're gonna exchange information. Uh-oh, turns out his brain went into Parasite's brain, and now it's 2 for the price of 1. He said, 2's a crowd. And then they both break the fourth wall. They look at the camera and smile and give thumbs up. And then the episode continues. So then they break out of the hospital. The two of them in Parasite's body break out of the hospital. And then it's up to Superman to stop them. But hey, there's also still the bomb. And there's an underwater wreck, and they swim in it, and then it falls, and then Superman flies out of it forever. Scuba action Superman. And then they go back to the hospital, and they've completely broken out. And then Superman's like, okay, well, we got the phone call. I'm going to go fight you in a cave. Uh-oh, I threw the bomb down a hole. The end. You really just raced to the end there.
Good.
You get 98, The Pickle Jar Conundrum from Dan Reba.
Oh, it's going to be a big boy one, right?
It's about the same as it has been.
Wait, this is a two-parter?
Yeah, this was Blast from the Past, the first Jackson and Mala shit.
It begins with Star Labs, if I recall. Professor Hamilton is trying to open up a cabinet in the spaceship that Superman came in, and he's got a super big screwdriver, and Superman's just like, look, let me do that. No, let me do it. And then he opens it up, and they discover something in there. Or is that I'm not quite sure. Yeah. And it's the Phantom Zone projector. They start playing with dials. They look inside and they see all sorts of weird stuff, and they open it up and a creature comes out. It takes off flying and Superman has to chase it. It causes some havoc, construction sites or whatever. Some guy's working on power lines or something. Superman manages to bring
it. The man who directed the episode.
Yeah. Superman manages to bring it back and makes Hamilton turn the dial backwards. So then they examine further, realize that, they go back into the Fortress of Solitude, and the Brainiac that kind of tells Superman what the deal is with the Phantom Zone and who these people are in there. Because they heard Mala going, hey, let me out. My sentence is up. So Superman goes to Hamilton and goes, you know what? We're going to let her out. We got to do what's right. Her sentence is up. And then they do. They let her out. Superman inexplicably trains her to fight, of all things. She'd been part of a coup to take over Krypton and some sort of, space Nazi, clearly. She mistakenly thinks that they're an item, being that they're the last of their kind. And they go out to stop a bank robbery. And she's under the impression somehow that Superman is ruling the planet because he can. And that she's his second in command. And like she was with Jaxer. I think he meant Jackson. Superman has to set things straight. And
we haven't gotten to that episode yet. We were recording this a little later, listener. He just spoiled a funny, hilarious fucking joke from 2 episodes from now.
Oh, whoops.
By saying Jackson. So funny. Continue.
God damn it, Brian. Superman has to set things straight. And so she sets up an interview with Lois to sort of calm things down to make people not freak out about her, which doesn't go well. When she realizes that Superman is not interested in her romantically because Lois goes there, she is volatile, so she flies off the handle when she finds out that Superman was planning on putting her back when things would go south, which is like, duh. He teaches her to use heat vision and everything. There's a big fight. She steals the Phantom Zone projector, releases Jaxer, and dun dun dun. Do you want me to just finish that,
Sure.
or do you want to?
You can do part 2 there. Yeah.
Well, let's see how short episode 99 is.
Sure. You want the shorter one.
Yeah, whatever. Superman gets prepared, goes there with the anti-kryptonite suit and with kryptonite to take them both down. They have a fight. They get the best of Superman, zap him into the Phantom Zone and the kryptonite, and they destroy the Phantom Zone projector. Superman and Hamilton had earlier, however, tried to build their own, missing a certain crystal, but they're still able to. I guess the crystal helps them hone to focus it. And
I don't know. It's all stupid.
And then they test it out. It's like you can just see his face saying these things. And then they test it out on a plant, which doesn't go well. So let's see. What else? What now? Let's see. The order of events now. It works. They're able to hone it, the radiation off the suit or something like that. They put a tracker on the suit, so they're able to bring him back, apparently painfully, which is cool. now the ending, all like they get the crystal. They're about to do the UN, that's the deal. And Superman's like, wait, not so fast. Superman flies them to the Daily Planet and they get the shot with the Phantom Zone projector. The end. Episode 99, Ice the Baby.
This is the Promethean, I believe. Superman's in space. Woo! He's in space. He's knocking on a spaceship saying, hello, I'm Buzz Lightyear. I'm here to blow up this asteroid that you guys want me to blow up. He's in space. They're going to blow up an asteroid with Superman's help. And there's a big rock alien duct taped to the backside of an asteroid. And they're like, that's weird. And then the heat of the sun wakes up the guy and he's like, oh shit, I'm awake. And they're like, oh shit, he's awake. And then they're like, blow up the thing. And it sends him free falling, parachuting without a parachute onto Earth. But it's good for him because this big rock monster absorbs heat and he's like really into the whole falling through Earth's atmosphere and heating up thing. He doesn't like to be cold. So it's this big rock monster. Then he was from an alien race that was non-binary or whatever. Hit it with guns. And Superman's like, no, don't hit it with guns. It makes him stronger. And he's like, more guns? There's a big fucking rock monster. And they're like, how do we stop it? Oh, science? We're going to turn him into an instant ice pack? Cool, just lure him into a lake. And Superman's like, okay, I'm going to lure him into a lake. And then they lure him into a little lake. And then they freeze him. And he does the day after tomorrow Statue of Liberty frozen in the ice. Yeah, the episode ends like that. No idea if the monster's... He's going to come back, I guess. There's a monster and they froze him in the ice. That's definitely not going to come back to haunt them. We didn't see Metallo walking on the bottom of the ocean. That's another thing. You get episode 100 as fast as the denim allows with Jordan Newman.
We never saw him come back, did we?
Nope.
He just frozen in the lake.
I mean, there's
he actually
7 more
froze
episodes,
the lake.
but no, I told you he doesn't come back.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Man, we're just getting all the
I
guests
made that
here.
choice for you that you don't get to see the Promethean ever again.
Yeah, fair deal. All right, Jordan, this is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in Speed Demons, there's going to be a charity race between Superman and newcomer The Flash, and we're going to find out who the fastest man alive is. And they've got these armbands. I'm going to track where they're going, and then there's a bad person. There's a shady dude who helps put the armbands on. It turns out that he puts something in there that absorbs the ionic energy of them running. So they've got the armbands. They take off running. It turns out that the ionic energy from them running is powering a weather machine, and this guy is calling himself the Weather Wizard. And God, that was fucking insane. And he calls the Nimbus tracking station and is like, I'm gonna mess some stuff up with my weather machine unless you pay me. And they're like, no. Then he messes some stuff up, and we cut to Australia, and they're dealing with some nasty waves. Oh no, Ashley. And Superman and the Flash are doing their race, and they're like, oh my God, there's a man overboard, according to them.
Overboard.
So then they go over there and they help, and Superman gets people out of the water. The Flash uses his tornado powers to get the oil out of the water. And I guess they keep on going with what they were doing. They keep on with the race, and then they're like, oh no, things are actually getting bad with the weather. And they figure out that it's like, it's this Mark Martin guy. We need to stop him. And then Mark Martin realizes that they're coming to get him. So he freezes them in a block of ice, and Superman deploys dreidel powers. And then they get out of there, and they realize that it's the armbands. They destroy the armbands, and they go to the place. And at the same time, Mark is getting pissed off with his brother for not liking
Mark Aquino.
Yeah, that he's not liking that he's trying to kill people, and he tries to kill his brother, which is always a natural response to a disagreement. He does a big hailstorm, and the guy drives his car off a cliff, and then Superman and the Flash save him. And then they go to the house, and they're like, there's a force field. Oh no. And then Superman uses dreidel powers again, and they come up through the house. They come up through the house, and there's a big like weather thing breaks. There's a tornado inside, and they finally beat him. And then he goes to prison, and they continue the race. And it's like one of my all-time favorite episode endings. We don't get to find out who wins.
Very true.
My dear Jamie, you get up. You get episode 101. Get up on the Hydra's lap, featuring
Nice.
Dylan Pollock.
Ooh, Dylan Pollock. That was the Christmas one. This is our first multi-episode episode. I'm going to read this like it's the official synopsis.
Okay.
This is our first multi-episode episode where there's several different storylines in one episode. So we start with Harley and Ivy shacked up in a Gotham motel, and they decide they want to go on a shopping spree. There's really not a lot of like hard crimes in this one until the end. It's very soft crimes. Harley and Ivy hypnotize Bruce Wayne and take all his money, which, I wish I could do to a billionaire. I'll kiss Bezos. I'll kiss him right on the mouth for the money. That's the short end of it. The second one, well, Batman stops them, yada, yada. Fast forward to...
That's our first drink in a while.
It is. The second one is we're at the mall. And again, very soft crimes. Like children are shoplifting. We got to have a stakeout and we got to fuck these kids up. And basically, it turns out the children are not children. They are 4 quadrants of Clayface, who now looks more like burnt refried beans than he did before. Little crispy. We see Batgirl, who is back again. Batgirl Returns Part 3. Yada, yada. They stop him. Fast forward to story number 3. Joker's like, Happy New Year. I'm not going to murder any of you next year, so I have to kill all of you now. Which is, it's kind of fair. He's doing what he said he would. Don't know if he sticks to it next year, though. But he gives out Joker masks, which the people agree to wear. Like, if somebody was handing out, like, hey, everybody, I've got Ted Bundy masks, I wouldn't be like, ooh, let me put this right on. Yada, yada, stops the Joker. Joker should be dead. Probably not. Yada, yada. We see the New Year's tradition. Commissioner Gordon, who now looks somewhat gaunt. Wait, I also forgot sudden new Robin. And we see the New Year's tradition of them having coffee, and Bruce leaves exact change, but I hope he tipped, and yada, yada, the end.
Thank you, Dylan.
This is 102. Guitar noises. Explosion. What? Sometimes you're having to figure out, like, what was this episode based on just the title?
And by sometimes, mean all the time.
It is funny thinking back, like, the first time we did this was for On Other Wings, and we like, On Other Wings, or Bruce Wayne goes to the zoo, because it was something that actually happened in the episode. And now we've gotten so far away from
Guitar
that. We're
noises, explosion, what?
Yeah, I was like, that's sort of true. That happened in the episode. But some of these Ali, Holly, Hatko, whatever the fuck that is. It's like, what is this? Doesn't make any sense.
I am feeling like we're missing some background music, Jamie.
Yeah, I think there does need to be something. It's a little bit empty,
Yeah. And even if it gets demonetized, like, do we really care?
No, this is the bonus, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll find something. You can start reading.
So there's like a VJ or DJ, not VJ. There's a shock radio jock, Leslie Willis. That is her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. There's a rambunctious, I just didn't trust me.
No.
She's a rambunctious radio host and she doesn't like Superman and she's trying to figure out, I don't know, she's trying to convince people that Superman sucks.
That's not Bluetooth. Continue.
She doesn't like Superman. She's hosting a live event. Some electricity happens. Superman's there. He gets shocked. He somehow transfers the shock to her. But
this
nobody else
this
is on
better.
the
We should have been doing this the whole time.
Yes. Do you want to like just preemptively cut some of that in?
No.
Oh, okay. And then she changes hair color. Basically, she gets electricity powers and then she finds out how to use them and she fights Superman. The end? That's so short. And then yours is like kind of a normal length. Do you want me to read this one? And
no. We'll swap.
Okay, well, I'll read those next two then.
All right,
those
sure,
are very
whatever.
short.
What do I get? What is it?
Oh, fuck.
104? No, 103.
103, Superman loves kisses.
Kisses.
Oh, Superman loves kisses. Classic.
Superman wants to kiss children. He also wants to kiss construction workers. There's a Superman flying around doing good deeds, and then Superman saves Clark Kent and Lois, and you see Clark get thrown out of a car, basically. And Superman saves him, and Clark is like, oh, what the fuck? And Lois is like, well, this is normal. Look, it's Superman sitting next to Clark Kent. And then Clark goes to take a walk. That's not important. Anyway, so then we see Superman catch up with this other Superman. And Superman number 1 is like, Superman number 2, your makeup is wearing off. And Superman 2 is like, that's impossible. And then they fight a little bit. And then Superman number 2 starts to get really ragged looking. And his skin is really pale and his hair is really greasy and long. And also his clothes become desaturated. Also, the graphic design on his costume gets fucked up. The S is less of an S and more of a so I had to try to phonetically write that out. I'm glad I got this one. So we got this Superman who's now looking not really like Superman at all. And his vocabulary's gone down to like, it's pretty much the same, but R and is don't exist. They're replaced by the word M. Anti-Nega Superman, who we later find out becomes dubbed Bizarro. So you get away with that one.
Yay!
Throws the wrecking ball that was wrecking a building at a wedding, and that's funny. So Bizarro flies up to this mountain lab, and guess what? Lex Luthor's been cloning Superman, and he makes them badly, so their clothing desaturates. And then Lois is there, and Superman shows up because they're gonna blow it up. But then Bizarro's going nuts, and he's gonna try to kill everybody. And Superman comes to save them, and the bad guys get out, and Lois is like crushed but not crushed, and Superman's like, I'll lift this crushing rock off of you so that your legs don't bruise too much, I guess. And then Bizarro's like, I'ma save you from a collapsing building. And then it blows up with Superman and Lois getting out with 4 seconds to spare, and then being like, wow, I wonder if Bizarro's still alive. And Superman's like, I don't know, but maybe. He's got a good heart. That would be cool if he was alive. And Lois is like, well, he's your DNA. He's made from the good stuff. And then we yell at the TV for Superman to kiss Lois. Okay, I guess you're taking episode 104, $3 and a Kit Kat.
So Lois wins an award and somebody's upset, and we are led to believe that it's because she won the award. Fast forward.
Oh, no.
That's fucking great. Good job, Brian.
You might have to get me a phone charge cord and somehow plug it in because I'm at 40%.
Cool. Fast forward to the end of the episode. It turns out it's because a guy was pissed off that she almost gets killed. Did I say that part even? She wins an award. She almost gets killed. She had a note that said, if you win, you die. We never find out where that came from. At the end of the episode, it turns out that it was this fucking dude who was like obsessed with her or whatever, and she didn't give him enough attention, and it was really gross. And he tried to kill her with a bunch of the stuff. The end. He hit him, and he hit him with one of his inventions. I'll take the next one too.
Sure.
McGurk Works, episode 105. Joe Scott.
This is the first one of 2024.
Woo!
Just recently learned.
That was weird.
That was weird.
Fucking
Book in the year with mesothelioma.
A small man from the fifth dimension shows. Is that the subtitle for this one?
No, we just used that word in the title. I don't think this one gets us. Or maybe it does. Jamie. I don't remember.
So a small man from the fifth dimension shows up. He kept trying to trick Superman. Superman was ahead of him at every single point, basically, by trying to get him to say his name backwards, even though he couldn't say it forwards, and I still can't. When Mexi would keep on going back to his own dimension, his girlfriend, I guess, would keep on trying to like, hey, why don't you come spend time with me instead of, trying to go after Superman? And he didn't care. He just kept going on after Superman and failing. Look at me, I'm completely naked. But, he didn't care and it didn't matter because he just kept coming back and losing to Superman without any fighting whatsoever. So Superman had to use none of his powers except for flying, I guess. None of his super strength or anything. Yeah, and then the episode ended.
Good job, Joe.
That was great, Joe. Thank you. You get episode 106, Intelligence, which by the by, Jamie.
Oh, it's me. I said this one. You should maybe read the one that I said. I can just do it. Whatever. You've been reading a bunch that you've said, so it doesn't matter. So a little boy is running down a street, and a cop's like, hey, my donut. He jumps up on a fire escape, and then he gets away. And the guy calls him a little fuck or something like that. And then the kid goes home, but these two guys are there from Two-Face, and they're trying to get him for some reason. But we don't... Oh, for some reason.
That was a you one.
I know. And then he skateboards down the stairs and gets away, and they're shooting after him. He goes out the door and he runs into Two-Face. Two-Face is like, hey, come with me. Fade to black. Then we're at the docks, and Two-Face has little gloves for some reason. Fuck me. It's my fault. But he never puts them on his hands, he just holds them. They're his slapping gloves. They're his standards and practices can't hit a child slapping gloves. Then the child is like, no, I won't tell you anything about my dad. Hey, why are you taking this piece of paper out of my pocket? It has a key in it. And Two-Face, for some reason, knows what the key is for. Oh my God.
Fucking Jamie. If you throw it a fast forward here.
Missing.
Yeah.
Knows what the key is for. They're going to kill little boy. Everybody knows what the key is for. Anyway, they're going to kill the kid. Everything's going to explode. Batman's there punching guys. He knew to be there, I guess. But then Batman gets hit with a big hook and really fucked up by that for some reason.
Wow.
He got slammed into some barrels and he turned 37 in this episode. He decided he can't do anything anymore. He jumps into the air with into the water with Tim, and then they're like, "Go home, Batboat," and it takes them home. Oh, then it switches to you.
Woo!
No, let me do it.
Okay.
This is you though. Well, Batboat goes home, opens hatch, and Alfred's like, "Oh, Batman's drunk and a kid drove home? That's weird. What do I think about eyeballs? Don't bother me with such a question." Basically, Alfred's left to patch up Batman. Timmy is just wandering all over the Wayne mansion. He's like, "Oh, Batman is definitely Bruce Wayne. That's interesting news." And then Batgirl's like, "Hey, don't steal that stuff off the table. Come downstairs." And then Batgirl's like, "Hey, he saw everything. You guys should be afraid." And Timmy's like, "Nah, I'm trustworthy." And then Batgirl starts to declothe the child, and then there's some money, which I don't know if she knew about. And everybody sees that he's a thief. Timmy's like, "Hey, I got this paper from my dad." Batman sees an impression left on a piece of paper by a key, and Batgirl's like, "Bruce, what do you think of this?" And Batman's like, "Yep, that key goes to the airport." "Oh, that's an airport key. Duh. Holy shit." And so they go to the airport, and sure enough, there's Two-Face and company, and they're opening a lockbox. Batman and Two-Face start to have themselves a scuffle, and Two-Face decides to escape pre-scuffle on a luggage carrier mobile. Therefore, Batman is crawling on the luggage mobile toward Two-Face. Therefore, Two-Face unloads all of the bullets in his gun. Batman uses a suitcase to block the bullets. He successfully blocks bullets. And it goes back to me. This is too much. He becomes Robin, the end. And then College Dick shows up to say a little smarty pants thing, and the episode is over. And then you say, not before Batman says, "Dick." And we see an old dick. You get episode 107. The S stands for swole with Alex Robson.
Oh my God.
Have
British
Alex back
Dylan
on.
Paul.
Yeah.
We do need Alex back on.
Hey, Alex.
Hi, Alex. Are you listening?
I hope so.
Leave a comment.
Tell us. Say, "Hi, it's me, British Dylan Pog."
Yeah. I gotta do it. I gotta do it in a British accent.
Oh my God.
There's an island, and there's kids on the island.
Cheerio.
And there's no parents around for some reason. No, we don't have to. Actually, maybe we do.
Just for It's Christmas?
I don't know.
The bill says ring for a beer on it. You have to do it.
Fair. And then a giant metal man comes out of the sea, and apparently he's like a good guy, and he wants to be friends with them. So they hold hands and go for a skip and jump, and then turns out some stuff. Anymore. Yeah,
that's okay. It's okay.
Do you want to
no, don't do it.
I was supposed to be an Australian accent, but I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, no, it didn't. I couldn't tell it wasn't supposed to be British. So
British is a bit more like this, isn't it?
Sure.
And then turns out some stuff happens, and he saves a guy that looks like Cheech and Chong from falling over the edge of a cliff. And then, and then he was the only other adult on the island. Then it goes to the Daily Planet. And Lois
channeling what's his name, Alfred, actor guy in Dark Knight movies.
Sure, baby.
No,
and Lois gets involved. Name? Don't ask me these things. I'm reading. Lois gets involved, and so does Superman, a metal man. Yeah. They arrive on the island. Suddenly, it is Metallo in like the worst disguise ever, which just like last time. We have a trench coat and a hat and a poorly made disguise. And after that, they have a big fight. Superman wears his kryptonite condom suit. Oh God, that's so fucking bad. Thinking it's gonna protect him, but it never fucking works out for him in the end. It always ends up getting ripped. Don't they always? I
think that was the joke we were making.
Yeah. They fight, and there's a lava river, and he loses his heart, and Metallo goes in after his heart, and everything's fine. At the end of the episode, it is him frozen in carbonite trying to remember who he is. Episode 108, Cheetos and Budweiser.
It says Budweiser because it's for copyright.
Oh, right.
Live Wyatt, she's back.
No. Actually, yeah, I get it.
No. Hanging out, being a beezy, and she's like, hey, Mr. Eddie the janitor man, you're an idiot. So, was it Danny? Oh, I thought it was Eddie. Okay, my bad. So Eddie the janitor, he was eddying around just like in a small river with this little spirally bit of water or whatever, just being an Eddie. He's like, I'm cleaning this jail cell, and I passed the sign that says no electricity, but 1.5 volts worth of electricity is probably fine, right? But turns out it's not. And Livewire's like, I'm gonna suck you dry, boy. And then she does. So she uses his Walkman as an excuse to break out, and then she breaks out. So she's like, I'm gonna use your battery, and I'm gonna fuck up this place and go bye-bye, bye-bye. And then she's all like, hey, I'm going to go to this press conference and I'm going to blow everything electrical up and kiss this guy. Bye-bye. And then she's all like, fucked up this press conference. Shock Superboy. Okay, bye-bye. And then
I don't like how much I make me laugh.
And then it's me reading your bullshit, I think. Yeah, when you're reading it back, you're like, I said all this? Oh, man. And then she's like, time to go bust. Whoa, not Rudy. What's his Parasite? So she's like, hey, Parasite, time to not be in jail anymore. And he's like, I'm going to touch you. And she's like, consent. And he's like, I'm going to do it anyway. He's like, touch the pretty thing. And she's being pretty, like, generous. So she busts Parasite out of jail, who's being real pervy and touchy, and they go on their merry way. He's like sucking people dry, and she's zapping people dry. And they make it to the mainland, and Clark is all, Lois, look over there. I spilled my coffee everywhere. I gotta go. So then Superman comes out. Superman comes out above the trees, and then there's a Superman v Rudy, and he's in a boat, and Superman's like, your boat's now an airplane. And Rudy's like, I'm going to shoot a hole through the boat. I'm just going to use this shotgun to just shoot once. I'm not going to continue to try to shoot him. They end up in the water, and Rudy tackles a shark and sucks it dry, despite the fact that it's in the water. Mm-hmm. And he gets away from Superman because silt or whatever. And then they end up in the underground near some high voltage thing. And Rudy tries to get all grabby again. And she's like, dude, I said no. But hey, we're still going to work together in the future. It's totally fine, even though you like try to assault me every time we're at all close. It's really gross. We're going to move on from that. Lois Lane puts on a rain jacket, and he's like, I've got a fetish about this. So they're at some power plant or something. Livewire's sucking the main voltage, and Superman walks in, and he's all glossy. He walks in like a full-body condom that is just like... Oh my God,
I remember this.
You get the impression. The animators did a good job proving that he's covered head to toe in a rubber. But like, he just sort of looks like... Do you remember the SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob goes smooth? It's kind of that effect. It's like Superman's gone like, hi, how are you? But he's also like, maybe it's a little too tight because he's kind of walking in this weird, like extra archy back bit. Again, you could put the SpongeBob squeaky shoes. We've gone off the rails. So surprise, surprise, Rudy's giving Superman the suck and it's not going good for him. And Livewire's like, hey, stop. And he's like, I don't know the definition of stop or no or don't or any of that stuff. So he goes over to Livewire and he gives her the big suck and then like shibari's her with a metal pole or whatever. So then she's all tied up on the floor and useless. And Superman's having a pretty bad time because he's been sucked dry and he's running away. He grabs a broom and he's swiping it at Parasite. And Parasite's like, I'm going to set that on fire. And Superman's like, I'm going to use that to set off the sprinklers. He gets shocked bad. They all get taken away. Livewire's put in a gimp suit without the hood. And then Superman's like, I'm going to crack my bones and then go fly away, but only this high. And then I'm going to hover and then the screen's going to go black while we iris out in the end. You get 109 flesh tenta holograms.
Oh God, I'm getting the small ones.
That's okay.
Is it okay?
Do whatever you want. I like reading them.
You're gooder at this than me.
Oh, thank you.
Lightner, aka didn't he have a bad guy name?
Oh no.
Is that
Yeah, I think so. Although you got Lightner right, and this time was where he gets named Luminous, so whatever.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's water.
Well, he said Luminous once. Once, and then everyone's just like, nah, Light is already your last name. We're just gonna leave it at that. Can you even spell Luminous? Is it with an S or a C? Well, Molinous.
That's what you said.
Okay. Basically, is like he's got some. Do we need to step on that one?
No.
Okay. We've already done it. He's got some stuff in jail and he says, hey, jail guys, guess what? And he goes invisible and they go, oh no. And he steals a helicopter. The end. It's not the end. It's like a third of the way through. And then we jump around a little bit. Clark and Superman are getting pretty weak and Lightner is like, hey, guess what? And the clouds part a little bit where Superman's outside having a stroll. Wouldn't you know it? The sky is red. Oh no. Turns out Lightner made a camera filter for the sky out of a bunch of satellites. And now Superman, who gets his powers from Earth Yellow Sun, can't get his powers from Earth Yellow Sun anymore. Lightner's setting up traps and stuff, and Superman's becoming man. No more super. They mosey on. Lightner's setting up traps. Man is getting weaker and weaker and almost bites it the final time. But then by Lightner shooting a laser at Superman, who happens to have a parabolic dish, arcs it back and blows up the computer. He basically melts the computer with a laser beam that Lightner is shooting, and the sky goes blue again, and the sun goes yellow again, and Superman says, ha ha! I'm strong and I'm going to break your hand. But then he doesn't, and they arrest Luminosity Man. He goes to jail. The end. Superman flies into the sun. His wax wings melt, and the end. You get episode 110, Jimmy and the Brick with Ted Kendrick. And that rhymes.
It sure does. I'm going to stand up, though.
Yeah?
I just got to go back and forth between standing and sitting for my spine. Lois is hanging out for some reason at Professor Hamilton's lab. I guess he's showing off his new tech, but like, oh, let me bring in the journalist. Let me show you this new technology that doesn't work. It's just static, but let's play with it. And then she's like, no, it's working. There's cracks in the glass over there. And she gets too close and it sucks her through the portal and she winds up on the other side. And oh yeah, Jimmy was there too. So she's on the other side and nobody else is there anymore. And the whole place is destroyed and she walks out. She's like, oh, well, Metropolis is still there. So then she wanders downtown and she runs into Dan Turpin, who's wearing a nice, sleek, black fascist police uniform, Nazi suit. It's on the nose. It's not subtle. Dan Turpin's about to arrest her because she doesn't have her papers. Again, not subtle. But then he gets distracted by an explosion. And over there, you've got Jimmy Olsen with this gorgeous, long red mullet and a trench coat. And he's leading a group of people to steal from this place. And Lois gets wrapped up into it. And then when they get back to the safe house, Jimmy's got kryptonite and he's like, we're finally going to take him down. Lois ends up leaving, getting recognized and taken to LexCorp. I'm probably skipping a beat. Oh yeah, I'm skipping a couple beats. Let me back it up and say there was a really cool sequence where we first meet Superman and he emerges out of the shadows and he got some black suit with that creepy SS logo. It's not subtle. But yeah, so Lois is on the run and I forget exactly when she gets scooped up and taken to LexCorp, but I know she gets scooped up because she's recognized for being Lois. She's supposed to be dead, and we never find out exactly why, but it doesn't matter. The point is she's dead. So Lex is like, oh yeah, no, we gotta kill her before Superman finds out, because if he finds out, we can't control him anymore. And so he's like, all right, Mercy, don't do it here. Take her out back, and shoot her in the alley. And they go out back to the alley, and luckily, Angela Chen is crawling by, and she recognizes her and asks for $1, and then ends up biting Mercy's leg, and that gives Lois the chance to leave. So Lois is on the run, and she had already seen the statue, the double-headed statue of Superman and Lex back to back. But then she sees an even bigger statue that has a torso on it too. And she climbs up this giant statue and goes all the way up to the head and heals. Bad idea when she gets to the Lex side because she starts sliding down and right as she's about to fall, Superman comes and he has whites in his eyes all of a sudden. Superman ends up flying off with Lois, and they get to the bottom of what's happening. She's like, yeah, I'm from another world, but you're nothing like my Superman because my Superman helps people and you're a fascist. And he's like, well, I'm not a fascist. I wasn't always a fascist. I'm just working with Lex because he's got money and resources and he does the day-to-day stuff. And so she takes Superman to show where Lex is keeping people prisoner, and everyone there starts throwing stuff at Superman. Jimmy throws a brick at him. Someone yells, where's my baby? Superman goes to confront Lex, and they go up to his office, and Lex is like, he's all smug. And then Superman throws his desk against the wall and then confronts Lex, and Lex is like, I'll just tell everyone you were evil and I was the good guy the whole time. But Superman is like, no, because I already talked to the people and they're right behind me and they know the truth.
Shit, Jamie.
And so then Lex tries to make a run for it, and he hops in his little flying car thing, and Superman stops him, and he and Lois say their goodbyes, and he's like, maybe in another world we, could have been in love or something. She goes back to the portal, and regular Superman's there to greet her, and he's like, cool, I gotta get this kind of cool white rim light kind of effect going on with the portal. It looks really cool. And so they go in, and then Lois asks him out to dinner because life's too short, and they have a little date. Oh, there was a kiss. She straight up kissed evil Superman. Yeah, Lois likes the bad boys. You get episode 111, Rocket Kerning.
Lois Lane's dad is a space guy. He was like, here, daughter, hold on to this monkey for a short time. Grow attached to this monkey. We're going to send him into space on a rocket. Uh-oh, we took your monkey away and you're sad and he's sad. And also the monkey got left behind and it's sad. Uh-oh, the rocket is going awry and we lost touch with it. Shit, fast forward.
I have bread in my mouth.
20 years later, Superman's in space, puncherizing some meteors or whatever, doing the same thing that he did at the volcano that didn't work. Big rock, I'll punch into smaller rocks. Oh shit, the smaller rocks are causing destruction. I gotta punch those into smaller rocks. Oh no! Now I have 3 times as many rocks to puncherize. But the last one he's gonna punch face is... it is, Jamie, guess what? It's a meteor somehow holding onto the escape pod that houses the sleeping monkey. Titan O or 0?
I think it's 0 or Titan O.
Titan
That's
O.
the kerning.
So Superman brings back monkey from space. Space monkey. Goes grow. I'm jumping over the whole jellyfish scene. Monkey now goes big because of the yellow power of the sun or whatever makes Superman strong. And now we got this we got this King Kong situation going on, and King Kong goes to the zoo and is like, I don't know, this shit should be free. And he starts freeing monkeys, and then monkeys free lions, and so then monkeys are just on the loose, and Superman's like, I'm gonna battle monkey, but man, am I just really, I'm having an off day and I'm slow and this monkey's slapping the ever-living shit out of me and I have to keep flying in circles. He's got one move and the monkey knows how to counteract his move or whatever, but Lois saves the day by harnessing the power of nostalgia, and the monkey gets helicopter fart gassed. And he went to sleep with a smile on his face. And then we get to cut to black, and we cut back, and the monkey, and they've dropped the monkey on a big island. But don't worry, Star Labs makes it so he won't grow anymore. He's just going to starve to death on a small island. Oh, but wait, he's got a monkey necklace now. You get episode 112, Lex and the Unavoidable Dirt.
I like this episode. There was a ghost and there was a machine, and Mercy got the short end of the stick. Check this, everybody. Lex has got a big new toy. It's a building pistol gun. It's with a trademark symbol. That was what we told ourselves to put in the Yopisode guide.
Hooray.
It's supposed to shoot stuff out of the sky. Lex has got this big new building gun, and it's supposed to shoot stuff, and it doesn't, but it's okay because Superman's here, and for some reason... Lois still hasn't caught on to the fact that anytime something goes down, Clark goes missing. And so Lex is like, I gotta figure out why my building gun didn't work. And turns out it's Brainiac. And he's like, hey, I'm here, but I'm not here. I'm gonna hold you hostage so you can make me a body again. And he's like, nope. And then Hardak is like, yep. And then Brainiac's like, nope. Basically, Lex, he's being held hostage, and basically he eats a bunch of chocolate, and he's just... Brainiac is like, cool, well, you're about to be dead. And Superman and Mercy are like, nah, and they go to find him. Go to fight him, and then he fights back, and there's some fighting. Fast forward.
Who does this?
Dylan a lot.
Do you need are you about ready for another beer?
I'm almost out, yeah.
Yeah.
The roof gun is working, and Superman shoots him and makes him a big magnet. And then everybody dies that is named Brainiac. I remember the way you said that. And everybody dies that is named Brainiac. Like you're like so over it, but Lex leaves Mercy to die, and Superman's like, nah, I don't like that. We're only gonna have Brainiac die. And then at the end of the episode, Lex is an asshole, and Superman doesn't do anything about it, and now we all feel bad for Mercy.
Hi, Boobla.
Hey, we got more beer, and we got we peed out of our bodies.
Yeah, we refreshed. We also got some Tullamore Dew because we decided beer is dandy, but whiskey
we're not getting drunk enough.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, I just finished one. You have 113 hibiscus and falafel with James Enstall.
What did we start on? 80 something?
87.
So at 100
to 150.
So what are we? 80s 107. Should we do a whiskey now?
Oh, every 20? Yeah, sure.
Because there's going to be like
way past 20, right? We're on 113. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, every 20 we'll do a whiskey. Okay.
Also, this is not like shooting whiskey. We're not going to shoot this.
That's fine.
And I realize this is not. These are the cups for enjoying whiskey.
It's a sipping whiskey.
So
I got given a glass of like sipping whiskey at a like family Christmas outing, like a cabin we were all in with Jessica's family one time. And I just took it like a shot.
Oh.
And they're just laughing at me. And they're like, you're not supposed to just shoot it. And I'm like, well, I did. It's too late now. It's over.
Ooh.
That smells nice. The initial, ooh, okay. I'm like that meme of the girl going like, well, whatever. The initial like breathe in the surrounding air was like, oh, hand sanitizer. But then it tastes really good. Anyway, can you please read a yop?
I can yop.
Thank you.
James Enstall. That was a fun one too. Mm-hmm. So in this episode, a strange sphere-like that looks suspiciously like something out of a Jack Kirby comic book shows up in Metropolis. No enunciation anymore.
You got it.
Shows up in Metropolis and begins kind of scanning things and eating light posts. Luckily, Lois Lane, who is out in her very 90s running outfit, comes across the sphere and says, "Whoa, this is weird." She calls the city desk. As Superman, Clark Kent, is leading his parents. How did he do parentheses in a...
It was the way he would
synopsis.
say it, but also sometimes we would say like parentheses this thing or whatever.
Okay, that's fair. Superman Clark Kent is leading his parents on a tour of the Daily Planet, who have just arrived in town to celebrate Father's Day. Clark's super hearing picks up Lois's voice to the city editor's phone, and he hears what's wrong. Flies out to, I guess did they name it? Is it Centennial Park like it is in the comic books? Oh yeah, fuck.
Water. You waiting for?
Should have refilled water too.
Yeah, probably.
Is it Centennial Park like it is in the comic books? Did I miss the sign? We'll call it Yoppie Park. My
man.
My guy. Let's just...
Anytime we use a yop of some kind, we can cheers whatever we're drinking. We'll forget all these fucking rules as we're going.
Absolutely. So Superman flies to Yoppie Park and rescues Lois, who has now got her leg clamped because the tentacle thing has come out of the sphere and breaks her free. Because the tentacle thing has come out of the sphere and he breaks her free. Takes a couple of laser bolts to the face, blocks some energy beams like electric blue bolts. Am I getting too detailed? I want to be thorough and do a good job. You fucker, James. So then Superman, even though he can lift whole buildings... Glug. Thank you. Oof. Oh no.
You can break it up if you want to reach a certain point.
Everything like that. This round sphere has enough power to push him through rock, and he ends up buried underneath rocks. And then this huge saw comes out of the sphere and tries to cut him and slice through rock. So I'm assuming it's made of like blades or diamond or some kind of similar substance to diamonds found in Apocalypse. So he's dodging the blades, and he finally pulls that off, and he finally gets a sphere, and it's about to self-destruct because Darkseid is coming and sees Desaad controlling the sphere and says...
Good job.
Thank you. you know what? You screwed this up too. And he's like, that's all right. We're testing his power. So he sets the self-destruct. Superman grabs a sphere, flies straight up in the air and explodes. And then they see the explosion and Calabac comes in the son of Darkseid and he says, hey, let me take a crack at Superman. I can beat him up. And he goes, nope, I want to do this to be messed up. You're obviously an idiot. And even though you sound like Lieutenant Worf, I don't trust you. And so Desaad thinks, oh, this is my chance. Because he's always scheming and he decides, I can send you to Earth. Don't listen to your father or you can take him. Then you'll be his favorite sons, because Darkseid does not recognize him as his son because the whole of the God, I can't read as fast as I can look. Which is a great problem to have.
That's a good subtitle.
Recognize him as his son because of the whole High Father and Orion switcheroo. I didn't say anything.
That was me going like, oh, Brian hasn't seen that yet. I didn't say anything.
I said my father because I'm very sensitive about parents. That's what I said. And so I said Calabac to Earth. Desaad sends him behind Darkseid's back, figuring he's either going to take out Superman or he'll get in trouble, because either way, Desaad is now raised. We are not halfway through this.
Then give me it at some point.
No.
All right.
Raised in the eyes of Darkseid. So Calabac shows up and somehow knows the restaurant that Superman's going to be having lunch at. And so Lois takes him on, Pa Kent to the restaurant. Clark has to hang out in the editor's office. Perry's going to yell at him about something, which we never find out what he's yelling to him about. Very convenient plot device. So Calabac.
I don't know. It's too late. Don't worry about it. I was getting plot device button. It's too late.
I lost my place.
Plot device.
There you go. Oh my God. Oh, there it is. Device. So, oh my God. Maybe now we're halfway through. So Calabac, after smashing the maitre d's desk, starts turning over on every table except for the Kent's table, which I thought was a little odd. And somehow, even though he can listen to Lois's phone, he can't hear a bunch of people screaming a block away, which I thought was odd as well. And they're evacuating the restaurant because Calabac's literally bringing the house down. Pa Kent says, hey, this guy's 5 times my size. I should go over and punch him in the face. And he gets held behind. Superman finally shows up and a fight ensues. They're knocking each other all over the place. So this is why the property insurance rates are so high in Metropolis. Superman just picks up 2 random cars and is like, I'm not sure who these people are, but they're not needing their cars. Smashes them on Calabac, which somehow blows Superman back. So it's kind of dumb move, but because it hurt him so much as it did Calabac, apparently. They go to the subway and they start fighting there, and he gets electrocuted. He takes a 3rd rail, and that still didn't put him out, but he gets back up and they're fighting. They're fighting. Meanwhile, I'm thinking this movie's gonna collapse any second. Jonathan Kent dies in this episode, but he defeats him and throws Calabac, I'm assuming miles away, and then he lands in a field, and I can only assume is upstate New York from the looks of it. Nothing around. And then he saves his dad, flies to check out the field of daisies and trees, and Darkseid finds out that Desaad has sent him. He finally realizes he's failed. Darkseid shows up, pulls Calabac through the boom tube, and Superman goes, wait, what did you do with him? Who are you? And then he goes, this is who I am, and he blasts him with his Omega beams. That wasn't really an answer. That doesn't. And then he leaves and he goes and he says, you'll be hearing from me again. Darkseid will rule this planet or something to that effect. And then it's like, why didn't you just say my name's Darkseid?
Yelling so loud. Was that it? No, there's one. Good job.
You get episode 1 I'm fine with it because yours is like kind of normal length, and then this one is one
so
sentence.
Short, yeah.
You get 114 tender love scenes between 3 men.
That's what's finest. We're at the live show.
Oh my gosh!
It starts off with fast forward.
Oh my God! Let's kill these.
All right, Joker's now putting in Batman and Superman go off in the sunset.
Put your cold one on the thing.
No, you're right. Sorry.
I got you.
Joker's now putting in Batman and Superman go off in the sunset. Disco blimp. Okay. So Gotham and Metropolis combine. Not geographically, but socially, spiritually. We got the Joker and Bruce Wayne and also Batman for some reason.
Open this fucker up, baby.
Oh, why does it do this? Fucking nitro shit. And
we are drinking nitrous oxide. It's very strange.
Yeah, just going to Metropolis. So is Harley Quinn, and that's fine. Some people fight. The big points Joker and Lex are like shaking hands. There's a whole kryptonite dragon. Not kryptonite, it's jade, my bad. He's got a dragon. He breaks it into pieces. Superman's going to be fucked. So we got Joker and Lex are going to wipe out their friends, or not their friends, their enemies. Maybe they're friends. And then Superman and Batman are both like, Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, whoa, don't tell anybody. And they're like, I hate you. I hate you too. Let's work together. And then they shake hands. Superman gives him a little kiss. So Lois Lane is like, screw Superman, not literally. Screw Bruce Wayne, literally. You assume she's in love with him. Oh yeah, if there's robots, they're gonna kill what they want to. They're from Lex. Joker uses them. Sometimes there's kryptonite duct tape to them. Sometimes there's mercy duct tape to them. They're all about like killing things and duct tape. And then Joker steals a smile. There's a lot of people working together that don't usually work together. There's some tension. There's some resolution. Joker goes down in a plane. There's a lot more. I can't put it in a synopsis. Batman's in a jetpack. He's in everything. He's got a Batwing. He's got a jetpack. He's got like a tux. Let's just like fast forward the end. Okay, and then, yeah, like you said, it's very short. You get 115 smoother kryptonite.
Bizarro not am explode. Bizarro am think is still Superman, kind of, but not really. Bizarro am build Krypton. Am also blow up Krypton. People in way. Superman throw kryptonite. Bizarro say thank. Limited run creatures freed from Wank Palace. Limited edition. Superman goes spaceship with Bizarro. New planet. Bizarro keeps safe. End.
I really like limited run creatures. That's my favorite description of that.
You get a long one.
Okay.
You get 116. It's me, Captain Star Trek.
Is that all that was on that page was the title? All right. This is going out to all you who didn't actually watch the episode, which should be none of you. Kimmy.
So I knew it was coming.
So there's a thief and he's like stealing stuff from a museum and he steals a thing. Well, he goes to steal a vase and he's like, nah, fuck that. And then the vase breaks and it reveals a tablet. And he's like, foreign language that I can't read? And then it transforms to not foreign language that he can read. And he's like, that's normal. It looks at your eyes and knows what language you speak. It's like, hey, say these weird Egyptian or whatever words, or like Latin. So he chooses English and he says some stuff in Latin and then he's becoming a bad demon guy. And you're like, he's got glowing eyes, he's got claws, he's gonna be like a wolf man. Nah, he's a hentai tentacle monster. And by the way, Squid Boy leaks everywhere. I'm gonna say that. You didn't ever say that there. Squid Boy leaks everywhere. Clean it up, man. So there's this demon now, and he's like, finally, I'm free. I'm gonna like take over the Daily Planet and open a portal to other demons. This is all like H.P. Lovecraft. Demons that look like manta rays, and then they fly into Lois. They make her into a demon, and then they fly in Jimmy, and they make him a demon. Superman's like, oh no, there's this magical force field, and I can't get through it. Punch, punch. And then there's this goth girl who's like, I've seen the craft. I know what's up. And then everyone's like, fuck, we don't like you. We don't like you. You're bad. And she's like, I have all the answers. And Superman's like, who has the answers? She's like, I do. And he's like, well, guess again. And then he like leaves her. She goes to this giant obelisk in the middle of the park that apparently nobody's noticed before. And then an Ankh opens like a door Ankh opens and Superman's outside going, fate, fate. And he starts reciting poetry or whatever. And then some lady's like, oh, hey, what's up? Not so, like some other lady. So some other lady's like, hey, bro, it looks like you got clawed in the chest by a demon. And I'm going to fix that for you and also your clothes. Basically, Superman's talking to some other lady, and then Eyeliner Boy shows up and is just like, hey, I could help, but I'm not gonna because I'm too busy looking at space. And Superman's like, that's dumb. And he's like, no, there is no dumb. I am just looking at space. Superman's like, well, I'm not looking at space. So then Superman's like, well, I'm out of here. And then some other lady's like, well, if you had this olive, maybe you wouldn't die. And he's like, got it. You put it in your gin, I think. Look, I didn't really get an owner's manual on this or anything. So Superman goes into the force field and he's like, I'm gonna punch you. And he's like, I'm gonna like pee on you. And then Mr. Fate is like, I'm here to also do some peeing and here's a tablet. And the bad demon guy's like, I thought that Kirkle? Steve Kirkle. So, I'll count. Water.
I'm gonna need to refill.
Yeah, me too. I'll do that after this episode. So then he's all, oh no, the tablet I thought was gone. And Eyeliner Boy's like, what was never gone cannot be ungone. And he's like, what's that? Don't do the undemoning to me. So he undemoned him. And then everyone was like, oh no, we're not demons anymore. And the building's like, I've been disdemoned too. A bit of a sound effect. And then it's the Daily Planet again. And then they go to lay down Eyeliner Boy, and some other lady is like, I rubbed him with some lotion, and now he's taking a nap. And he's like, don't worry, Superman, I'm going to wear the mask again. And then they all like punch into the sky and freeze frame like they did in that other episode. You get 117, glowing red in his meat basement.
That would be a 20, so let's...
Ooh, yeah. Wait, what?
Wouldn't it be?
No, we had 113 was when we drank last. It was 107...
Oh, I thought we were just doing that for
is
free.
the next time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No whiskey.
So we should get water.
Yes. I think I'm looking ahead, and a couple from now is really long. So I think you should just read the next two, which are like medium to small, and then I'll take the one after that.
Okay.
Glowing red in his meat basement. Let me start the jazz again.
Jazz me, baby. Glowing red in his... so you said the next two?
Yes, please.
17, 18, okay. So there's an archaeologist, and she loves dinosaurs, and Mr. Freeze says, nope. Oh, Jack Ryder. We saw a little bit of Jordan Blumen. Anyway, so this lady loves dinosaurs, and Mr. Freeze is like, not anymore, you don't. And he froze her dinosaur, and it died. There was an artist who was like, I painted my life's work. And everyone in the city was like, ooh. And Mr. Freeze is like, well, not anymore, you didn't. Blammo. So Mr. Freeze doesn't like art and dinosaurs. And then he also doesn't want people to like anything. And then he's like, you'll all pay and you'll find out why later. And then later he's like, I'm a fuck up Bruce Wayne, who I don't know as Batman. And then he goes to Bruce Wayne's and he's like, you need to suffer too. And he's like, why? And he's like, Alfred gets... And he's like, Alfred gets the gun? Mm-hmm. Oh, and Alfred's frozen. And then we're all like, oh no. And then Batgirl tags Mr. Freeze's ice cream van and they're like, we're going to find out where he is. And then they find out where he is. So then they're like,
fill up my water at all, but that's okay.
Do you want to go fill up your water?
Just keep screaming this one and I'll hear it.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to find out where he is. And they're like, we're going to find out where he is. And they find out where he is. So then they're like, Mr. Freeze, we found his underground lair. Doctors, you should go. Okay, bye. And they're like, Mr. Freeze's spare suit. It must be a spare suit. Oh no, he's not that. Now he's just a head on a spider body. And that's why, despite the fact that Nora's okay, apparently he's not back with Nora. Because Spiderhead. And I'm like, bro, if you got robot attachments, you could never mind. Anyway, he has a reverse fusion bomb, Freeze does, and he's gonna freeze Gotham. And Batman goes, and grappling guns Freeze to the bomb and presses the bomb go in the ocean button. Batman's like, definitely killed him. And then there's a big icy explosion. Yeah. And then there's a zoom in on the iceberg thing. Guess what, listener? You're not going to believe this. His four-legged spider head is missing, so he's not in there. Oh my gosh. Episode 118, Listening to the Hole. Lex saw RoboCop and he was like, that's a good idea. And then he also saw Iron Man and he was like, that's also a good idea. So like War Machine and RoboCop and Lex is like, fuck yeah. And then the dude who puts it on is like, I'm actually kind of like a crazy guy. There's a pre-existing condition there for sure. And that's pretty much it. He goes out of control and Superman has to get him back in control. There's an epic battle and Lex almost gets eaten by a shark. Superman gets Iron Man blasted in the face with lasers. He gets some pretty aggressive LASIK surgery. So aggressive LASIK. So aggressive LASIK. And Superman's blind and he sees like Scooby-Doo effects for a while and he's getting his ass kicked. He's getting his face all smashed in by RoboCop. You get episode 119, When Clark's in the Kent, with Ryan Hipp.
I always like these moments where you're like, so aggressive LASIK. And like you're looking at just written out what you said verbatim, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Me thinks past me is funny, but only when current me can understand what past me was saying.
Yeah. All right. This Saturday morning cartoon opens the way all of them should, with a funeral. And we don't see the title of the show, we just get the credits. And it's like, what the fuck's going on here? And then Funeral Man's doing funeral thing, and then Superman starts doing voiceover, and it's fucking awesome. And then they say, oh, this fucking funeral's for Clark Kent. That's the line he says in the show. And then it cuts to something else, and that's when the title should be appearing, but I watched it on Max, and they don't have the title on the version on Max, because you're supposed to be like, what the fuck's the title of the episode? But then you see if you see the title of the episode, you know who the fuck the funeral's about. So anyway, here's Wonderwall. And then he's interviewing wrongly convicted black man because this is, of course, superhero escapism. Nothing to do with our real life. Clark believes him and no one else does, which doesn't reflect well on Lois and Jimmy when they're like, hey, everyone knows he did it. It's like, oh, fuck you guys. And Clark is like, okay, well, I mean, I gotta go find something. And then he looks over and he's like, pizza, yeah! And so he goes to the pizza parlor and he gets the Deus Ex floppy disk and it has the evidence. And then he calls Lois and is like, hey, you racist piece of shit, I got the evidence. And so he goes to do the thing that you do with evidence, the evidence thing. But then, the car goes kaboomers and then he goes off the cliff. Wah! And then he goes in the ocean and then he does the thing he did the other time where you have part Superman suit, part nice dress suit. When are we getting that action figure? It's happened twice. That's more than most of the action figures they actually made. So he comes out of he comes in the water and then he comes out of the water. He's like, oh, well, fishermen might see me. This ruins everything. And so it's like, oh, well, Clark has to be dead. Oh, and then this whole time I haven't even mentioned that sketchy cop man from whatever fucking episode. He's back. The villain was Luminous, but this detective is Lumen Sus. He's like setting up bombs and planting bugs, which when Clark said, it's a bug, Lois is like, no, you fucking dumbass. A bug is like a little thing that crawls around. What are you talking about? But he spots them in the crowd. Bowman's standing right behind man in purple hoodie, who's like, yay, a guy probably died in his apartment from that explosion. Yay. And so they're like, well, duh, fucking cop doing fucking evil cop shit. And then they stage a whole thing for him to incriminate himself, which he does, and then he has his getaway chopper handy. It's like, Detective Bowman, why do we always have to have your getaway chopper ready? That is so weird, and you called it that. Why are you still employed? The fuck are you talking about? Why are you saying this out loud? This is really incriminating of you. He uses the getaway chopper not to get away, but to fire at Superman, as if that's gonna do a goddamn thing, which it doesn't. Not enough to do anything, and so, well, he's caught, but they have to save the innocent man, and he's in the gas chamber, and as with all deadly gases, it's a green poofy smoke thing that only stays in place, and you know where it is because it's green and that's how gases work. And then he breaks into the thing, he does a swirly, and swirls it up into the air. Detective Bowman is now the turntables, and he's in the thing now, and it's the best ending ever, where he's like, he's Superman, and then dramatic music, and then the end. You get 120 Batman is Peter Pan with Kyle Naranja.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So we're in Gotham. It's nighttime because it's always nighttime in Gotham. It's always fun and exciting, and we see a slightly overweight silhouette panning across the city on the longest rope in history of mankind. And a little boy goes, Mom, is that Batman? And she goes, I think so, honey. And he immediately crashes into a sign and goes, maybe not. And we eventually see that it's blonde Jason Alexander swinging around the city. And Batman and Robin prevent the arm of the sign crashing into civilians, as well as saving him from diving to his death. He no longer is afraid of anything, which they find quite concerning. And then we get to see some guy who looks like Jordan Belfort / Ron DeSantos, the only guy in a white suit, disappear into the crowd. Crowd, not crown. You know you're a good guy when. Oh, you know you're a good guy when. So Jordan Belfort DeSantos shows up at a table and he's like, I don't know, the guy just started to disappear. Ugh. And then we see the silhouette of this character who's like, well, if you're going to give me test subjects, maybe take more care of them. And then I got to reposition myself.
I'm eating bread.
Good job, Jamie.
You lose your spot?
Yes, I did. And then it goes to Bruce Wayne. Bruce shows up from doing a safety search because that's his job as the CEO of Wayne Enterprises, right? And his secretary's like, some guy's been calling and your son who's not your son is maybe in your office. And Bruce, being completely out of touch, is like, you in school? He's like, it's summer vacation, Bruce. And what did we learn? And we learned that blonde Jason Alexander was afraid of heights, which is interesting. And then another middle-aged man, clearly with no fear, starts yelling at old Brucey, tells him he can fix accounting. Because, that's going to solve the world's problem. And then he unfortunately forces himself onto the poor secretary. And the police show up out of nowhere. And then Bruce decides he's going to investigate with a really thin mustache and nothing else. So he shows up at a Never Fear conference or something to a rousing crowd, which is quite interesting. And then he continues his investigation, and then he gets conked on the head by Scarecrow. And then we get a full Monty of his redesign. And then Bruce wakes up in a zoo and he gets shot with the yellow gas, fights off two crocodiles who are obviously dead. Yeah, Batman doesn't kill except for giant reptiles, apparently, in DCAU. And then he suits up with Robin, things go awry, and he threatens Jordan DeSantis in the most scary way possible by threatening to murder him. He does not do so because of Timm. Timm then ties up Batman and is almost convinced Bruce has figured himself out, but then realizes he has not. Timm goes to save the city, where Scarecrow has all of the gas loaded onto a train. Very Batman Beginsy. Timm gets conkied? Mm-hmm. Okay. And tied up with his own handcuffs, which maybe he'll be into later. We don't know. Batman shows up and saves the day as he is murdering Scarecrow. Timm shows up and gives him his special puffer. So Batman's no longer wheezing, so they drag Scarecrow into the sunlight. You get a very quick 112 featuring improvements made by Intergang. Or 121. I'm sorry, dyslexia.
Oh my God. John Irons built himself a suit, a big metal suit, which gives him Superman-like powers. Metallo came back and robbed a bank and then decided to fuck up Superman. Superman got angry, then he got kryptonited, so he was pretty much down for the count. And then Steel threw a hammer at the chest of Metallo and he's like, ? Dead. 122, Goth White from the nose down, says Reed in Boulder voice.
Boulder? Oh. The Boulder can tell you what happened. The Robin is now the mullet. And we haven't had a drink in a while.
I know.
Fuck it. Jamie.
Okay.
Cheers, whiskey.
Okay. Splash all over the shit.
No. Do you remember the last time we did this? You couldn't not cough when taking a sip?
Yeah, because the whiskey was so awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I should have brought the 114 old granddad with me. I should have finished that off.
I think I would have been more keen if not for my occurrences of the other night.
Yes. Brian was dying.
Yep. The Robin is now the mullet. He's got really small wings. The mullet is wanting to very much work alone, and he hates everybody. But he still needs their help. The mullet is a dick. He doesn't like anybody and he doesn't want their help. But it turns out the mullet needs his help because the mullet is fighting the Hook. Selena the Kyle, the Catwoman, she's also spicy and is hitting on the mullet. So the mullet and the Kyle start working together, and turns out the Kyle is using the mullet to get the Ruby Stone, Emerald Stone. The Kyle uses the mullet to get the stone. How
many Kyles in this episode?
How many Kyles? The Batman and the Batgirl don't like it and follow the mullet and the Kyle. They're on the ship, a ship. And then they all get in a fight, and the Catwoman is like, the Kyle is like, the bye-bye. Anyway, cut to the end. Woof, that's close. Cut to the end, and it turns out the mullet needs, the boat explodes into a propeller, and the Kyle's passed out. Everybody has to work together. The end.
Where you can't figure out what to do.
Yes. Episode 123, something with lawyers. I don't know.
Yep.
You got it.
Okay. Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so Lady Maxima from the planet Almanac, she's all horned up and she needs a man. She needs a man. She needs a man, and not just any man, but a man that can... She needs a man that can beat her physically. I'm a little uncomfortable with that, but I'm gonna keep going. And it turns out that none of the lawyers or whatever she said are they're not good enough. She said something about I don't know. So she just needs a strong man, Jamie. She needs a strong person, man. She needs a man, like a man. She's not, this isn't, so she somehow sees Superman. Oh, that's right.
On the struggle bus with this one, huh?
Oh, that's right. She's in a bath being pampered by ladies. It was like mirror, mirror on the wall, but like it looked kind of like they were just coming into her compound or something. But it's not. It's just video-ish magic mirror video of Superman beating up a robot, the Lexosuit thing. And she's like, oh, that dude, he's totally my type right there. Let's go abduct him. And so she portals into Metropolis and fighty Superman. And she's like, he's like strong. And she's like, oh my God. Oh, thank Christ. I've just really been needing to get beat up by a man. Oh, yowza. And then she's like,
is there art direction there, or is it just
And then he's like, nah, lady, I'm not coming with you. Ooh, and multiple meanings.
Ooh.
And she's like, laser blast. And then Superman's knocked out, and she drags him back through the portal and is like, now you're my bitch. Oh, that's right. She gets to Metropolis, and there's 4 punks, and then she beats up 3 of the punks with 1 of the punks, and then she spins the punk faster than a human body could tolerate. He just faints because he doesn't have a brain anymore. And then she beats up Superman and drags him through the portal, and then he bounces his head up a bunch of stairs. There's just so much. This old lady is giving a play-by-play to her husband, who's just hiding behind a newspaper, and is just like, there's a lady and a man fighting, and now she's restrained him with some I-beams. Now they're having sex in the street. She portals back, smashes Superman's head off like 30 damn stairs, and then she's like, I, your queen, Lady Maxim Magazine, have come back to roost. And they're like, nope, double-crossed you, now we're the queen. The lawyer at the beginning that she beat up says. So the lawyer number 1 is like, haha, double-crossed you with my, like, queenie in command here. And then she's like, yeah, we double-crossed you. And he's like, actually, triple-cross. There's all these crisscrosses. And she's like, wait, what the fuck? And he's like, I'ma smooch you and then, like, send you to your death in this prison with the big tentacle monster. And so he kapoofs them to the tentacle monster place. And this thing has... You just see these orange things coming out of everywhere. There's this huge prison underground tunnel thing. And there's just these orange tongues coming out of everywhere and impossible. And then Superman's like, how big is this fucking thing? And they're running through this purple tunnel and she's like, it's really big. And then it pops up and its tongue is like 1/100th the size of the tentacles that were chasing them through the tunnels. I am so confused. So the carnivore tongue is...
That was a very confusing moment.
The carnivore tongue is, I mean, it's big, but it's not like, it's not actually... I mean, it's big, but it's not that big. It's big. If we saw this on the street, we'd be like, wow, that's huge. But compared to the tongue size before, it's deceptively small. It's the SpongeBob tongue worm. So then, let's see. They fight the monster. They beat the monster. People get glowing white eyes. They escape. Superman goes Tasmanian Devil drill mode. Hard cut to a belly dancer also going drill mode. Spoiler, it's not Superman in a bikini. It's someone else. And everyone was confused. And then she's like, guess what? I'm queen again. And they're like, oh no. And then there's a fight. And then she's like, guess what? I'm actually the queen again. And now lawyer, you go to jail. Wow. Almost glossed over the best part. She's like, well, Superman, you want to fuck? And he's like, probably, but I kind of want to get home. And she's like, okay, I unbequeath thee or whatever she said. I unlawyer you, Superman. And then he's like, you know what my mom said? If you go to enough bars, you'll find someone to fuck. Look, Clark, if you ever need a good boning, what you need to do is go to any dive bar and just start buying drinks for anything with a pulse. So Queen Lady Maxim is like, okay, get out of here, go back to your world. And then as soon as she's through the portal, fucking Lobo comes crashing through the ceiling and he's like, I'm here and I'm ready to fuck. And she like, yeah, she turns into a puddle. She's really happy. He's the lawyer with so many almanacs. It's great.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you read that one and not me.
This is, you get Blank Bag and a Bag of Blanks, episode 124. Joe Scott.
Fuck yeah. All right, give it to me, Joe. We start off in some sort of mental hospital where Hank Hill is being kept.
Oh, no.
Give it to me. Hank Hill's being kept, and he gets released, and there's a puppet that he has nightmares about. Some henchmen come and be like, oh, so I see you made it out. And he's like, yeah, leave me alone. I'm happy now. And they don't. He goes to a halfway house and gets hired by Bruce Wayne, gets to work for him, pushing a cart of mail around, and then Puppet comes back to life and he's like, dang it, Bobby. Dang it, Bobby.
There you go.
And Puppet take over, and then they steal some bonds and stuff. James bonds. Good one, Joe. And then they get caught. Puppet wants to kill the henchmen because they get started thinking on their own, and that's not good. You got to amputate them. Gets knocked off by Batman's. Puppet gets shot by Hank Hill. Everything happy again. He gets to keep his job.
Oh, so nice.
125, Dick Turnip's magical eyebrows.
Oh, this is Apocalypse Now. We're making some headway here.
Yeah, we're doing it.
I'll just read both parts. It's decently small.
Okay. That's what she said.
I want to make this a more abbreviated one because there's a lot. So Darkseid is back. He's got planes that are half Dr. Octopus, Dr. Octagonopus Bois. I'm getting slightly slurred, drunky a little bit.
Attaboy.
And he's making an invasion happen, and this dude in a... So, like, in the 90s, there were these office chairs. Everyone's like, sitting down is bad. You need to kneel. So they had these, like, kind of kneeling office chairs that put you in this exact position that Spaceman Orion was in. So there's another superhero. He's the son of Darkseid, but not the son of Darkseid. He's the adopted son of Darkseid. Oh, wait, so he's not the adopted one from the other guy from the other planet? Oh, why doesn't he look like a gorilla? That confused me. I'm confused now. Okay, so Darkseid's back. He's got two sons. One's a gorilla, one looks like a human, and he's on the Superman side. He's against Darkseid. So Darkseid is like trying to be back and fuck stuff up and blowing up nuclear power plants by the by. Herman Melville, what's his name? Bruno Mannheim.
Okay, now, bro.
It's water.
Yeah, but I'm just upset with me. By the way, so 127, is that when we're doing our next whiskey?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're on 125?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Bruno Mannheim is like, he got betrayed by Darkseid, and he's like, I'm gonna escape in a boat. And then the nuclear power plant explodes, and we're like, you're not gonna outrun a nuclear explosion, Bruno Mannheim. More like Bruno Oppenheimer. Anyway, so the end. Oh, no, this isn't actually part 2. This is just Brian recalls the Mother Box history lesson. Okay, so there was a planet. It split in two. One of them became like a oasis, and that's Genesis? New Genesis. It was Genesis, and now they Genesised again, and whatever the drummer's name is. Phil Collins. Okay, so it split into Genesis. There was New Genesis and Apocalypse. One of them is the holy, everything's beautiful and nice. The other is a wasteland, heaven and hell in space. And by the way, in 16:9, 16:1, there's the two worlds, and one is good and one is bad, and Darkseid is fucking, he like thrives on people's, and loves people's misery. And so he's just out to like step on puppies or whatever. He's looking for the anti-life equation, a formula that will something bad. So yeah, we get a Darkseid, and he's just like out there to create like death or whatever. And like, that's kind of dumb. Like, he wants to be the all-powerful being, but where do you go from there? And you
It's a
get
good question.
you get 126, the opposite of sexy, actually, which was part 2 of Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse. Now.
Oh, you refilled me. I was like, where the fuck did mine go?
Just had to get ready for,
Thank you.
Next.
Thank you.
So the episode starts off with a recap of the last episode that we watched.
I loved when you actually, I think it was like Shadow of the Bat, where you started describing the recap as like the actual thing.
My bad. This is another one of those episodes that, dare I say, not a lot happened. We had, okay, my first question is, did I miss, was there like a drill that was drilling to the center of the Earth? There's a thing threatening to melt its way to the center of the planet, which if that happens, volcanoes are going to happen all over and the Earth is going to die. It's going to do a big death. Superman tries to call, wow, I've already forgotten his name.
I wasn't sure if you were just now saying that or not.
No, just playing me really good. Orion. Jesus, Brian. Superman tries to call. Superman tries to call Orion to help out. Superman's little garage door opener that calls Orion fried in the EMP, and he's like, "Guess we got to do this without him." And then we cut to, I think, Darkseid and a hunch in the back guy. Who's his son? Calabac. Oh my gosh. Darkseid calls upon Steppenwolf, and everybody in the know make a Born to be Wild joke. He looks like I was getting Robin Hood vibes from him. So Darkseid is like, no, Calabac, you're not strong enough. I'm calling on someone who's better than you. And we all see Robin Hood get done is all we've seen that Robin Hood get done is that he gets beat up. He gets punched into the ocean. He gets shot in the hand. He's like, ow! He doesn't do anything. The only thing he does is apparently encourages like the 10,000 clony bitey neck dudes, and they're really biting his neck a lot. This is a neck bite heavy episode, but like not in a sexy way. They're like, nah. The opposite of sexy, actually, unsexy. Calabac has done way more damage to Superman than Steppenwolf has managed to do. He's like, I'm born to be wild. Ow, my hand. Ow, somebody do something else. I'm out of ideas. He just dropped his sword. Where did it land? So anyway, that's all just to say that Steppenwolf is fucking useless. Anyway, to finish this up, Darkseid comes in a big metal slug and just is like, I'm going to mess you all up. Your world is mine. And then Orion comes through at the last minute and is like, oh, nope. If you fight, then everybody in the galaxy is going to be against you. And he's like, well, I guess I'm not. Darkseid this is. Well, I guess I'm not going to fight except for Dick Turpin. And then he, Turnip, sorry, my bad. And then he zaps him and the dick is dead. And then there's a funeral, and then there's an homage to Jack Kirby, who I'm guessing died previous to this, and that's the end of the episode. And I missed some things. Oh, that's right. So the whole thing is burning its way to the middle of the earth. Rather than just cutting a fucking channel into the volcano, he just 3, 5, 8 minutes of Tasmanian deviling his way through this. But like the thing he's like,
yeah, you're like
spinning.
you're so mad during this, you're like falling over yourself constantly. It's really good.
Spinning his way into an underground. Oh, I do remember being so upset about this. Spinning his way into an underground cave to let the water in, but there's nothing burning there, and we just 18 minutes of Superman spinning. And there's water just coming in from the ocean, and he could have just made. I gotta close the window
because you were yelling so much.
And he could have just made a channel of the volcano and like put the thing out at all. I think that, but I'm just so fucking baffled that we had no. The reason I'm saying everyone's gonna hate me because Jamie, this is a bad episode. You get episode 127. Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Uncle Don King's 250 big ones. Boom.
Okay. It is a Freakazoid episode. It was hilarious and shocking. Joker and Harley are broke as hell. They have no money. They can't even get away in their getaway car because it runs out of gas. And they ran out of bullets for their bulletmobile. What if we just start calling guns bulletmobiles?
That's a good idea, Past Brian.
Harley gets caught because Joker had only money for one ejector seat in his car and she goes to jail. And so they're super crazy broke, and that sucks. And you feel bad for the Joker, and that's kind of weird, but you do. And then it turns out his shitty uncle or whatever, some guy left him 250 big ones, $250 million. So Joker's now rich, and he's spending all this money. He's getting a big purple mansion, and like a big iceberg lounge club thing with girls dressed in not much. Oh, okay, my bad. I guess if it was him-themed, it would have been a little bit different. But yeah, so he's like just blowing all this money, and then at the exact moment that he's in this vault trying to pay off the IRS, all this chaos happens. Montage of buying and not being a bad guy and being happy about that. Joker gets like a PR firm and he's all like doing good and I'm just a rich guy now, nobody should hate me. And then he's like, the IRS is like, hey, you owe us all this money. And Joker like falls out of his chair. And then he goes into his vault to get money and then they realize that all the money is counterfeit. And then another guy, run-on sets, this isn't this one.
Yeah, you know me.
And another guy at that exact moment finds a VHS. Oh my God, we didn't talk about the expo at the entrance where Batman, we'll come back to it. So they're in the vault and one of the cronies finds a VHS and he's like, hey, I found this thing. And they watch it and it turns out that the uncle dude who left the $250 million, turns out he only left him 10 big ones. And he figured that Joker was going to spend more than that 10 and get himself in a world of pain. And he was going to have the last laugh, which was a nice little throwback. Joker finds out he's been had, and now he's got to figure out how to live his life, and he's got to go back to a life of crime, and he steals some money, and Batman says, "Nuh-uh," and then he gives him a quarter, and he's like, "Call your lawyer," or whatever. Joker gets arrested, thrown in the paddy wagon, and lo and behold, Harley's in there with a billy club and a bad attitude.
Yeah.
128, Big Daddy / Proper Disturbance with Robert Sterling. This plate looks like a tortilla.
You should eat it.
Okay.
So it starts off with a little girl running away from something or someone, and then we see a bunch of bikers who are chasing after her because they see her. They follow her to some kind of alley or just big opening area, and they start circling her. So Robin interjects and saves her from the bikers. And he asks where she is going, what is she doing, and she runs away and says, "I have to get away." And then he meets up with Batman after running down the long street to get there. Instead of grappling. So then he meets up with Batman and Commissioner Commissioner Gordon, where they're reviewing the tape of a robbery where a big guy with no eyes, and Commissioner Gordon asks, "What do you do with a face like that?" And Robin says, "Luck, I guess." Wait, what?
Luck, I guess. That's what he said.
Luck, I guess. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he said that.
And then Batman tells Robin not to go after her because reasons. And then he tells him not to slip up, and then immediately falls off a building. And later, Robin is riding in the limo, Bruce Wayne's limo, with Alfred just driving along, and he sees the girl, and he gets out in the Robin costume, just changes in the limo, gets out in the Robin costume, and hunts her down to a bus stop. And he starts chasing her around, trying to make sure that she's okay. And then the big guy shows up, and then after Batman shows up, the big guy starts beating on for 5 minutes, or beating on Robin for 5 minutes, something like that. And they start chasing the big guy. Robin goes around and try to cut him off at the pass, and then he disappears. And then they look in.
Page turn.
Boom. The storm drain. Robin goes off on his own, and he finds her again. Well, she finds him. He names her Annie. Annie finds Robin. And he finds Robin. At the bus stop, Robin names her Annie. Annie finds him later. They start finding the lights, follow the lights into the shore harbor. They go to the big light, big bus. Thanks, buddy. And then they go down to the storm drains, and Batman's at the Bat computer, and he says, "I know who Daddy is," which fucking hell is one of the greatest lines of the show.
Yep.
I hope someone used that for
I know who Daddy is, and roll, Robin.
So big guy turns out to be Clayface. Oh, big surprise. And then Annie remembers what's going on, and we get a flashback of Clayface, presumably after last time. Not last time we see him, but the time where he gets knocked into the ocean after Batman tries to kill him. She's created out of nothing. New conscience just pops up, and she's just there. And she goes out, and then she forgets and becomes her own thing. And then Clayface starts chasing the two of them into a big chemical warehouse, chemical factory, whatever it is. And he starts making faces, Clay faces. Oh, is that why? Clayface is about to kill Robin by dumping him in acid or chemicals or whatever they are. Solvent. Oh, yes, solvent. Yes. And then Annie comes back and then pushes him out of the way. She is not okay. One could say the opposite of okay. Speaking of the face, Annie makes a similar face, which is very uncomfortable to watch. And then Batman tries to stop Tim from murdering him, even though Bruce had no problem murdering him before. And then they take him away in a tube, and Robin says he's guilty of murder because reasons. Big light. You get episode 129, Piercing Blue Fruit Loops. Are they spelt that way?
Yeah, Fruit Loops.
Ooh,
yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that, Jamie.
I know. Really quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of us on the for like that we're doing this thing. Maybe hold this. So it's like, oh, you're reading it. Hang on.
Suck it in.
I did.
Is that for the cover photo or whatever?
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I guess so. Oh my god, why did the video go away?
Why did the video go away?
There we go.
Piercing blue Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
This is the first time we see Bruce with his blue eyes.
I think so. I don't know. This was referring to the eyes of Doctor helping Mr. Freeze Man, who had just Fruit Loops for eyes.
Oh,
Fruit
yeah.
Loops for eyes.
Okay, my bad.
Mr. Freeze is. We should start doing some voices or something. We've got to break it up a little bit. Mr. Freeze.
We also haven't had a drink. Let's just here.
We did 127, didn't we?
Yeah, but like here.
All right. Okay.
Oh, are you doing that?
Oh, no.
We got all this beer. We gotta drink some fucking beer, man.
Beer. Mr. Freeze is living in the Arctic, presumably, with 2 polar bears and a Kodak digital camera. I guess disposable. We'll say disposable. Kodak disposable camera, otherwise known as like a small boy, named Kodak disposable camera, which is interesting. It's a strange name for a boy, even if he's not, American. Even though he's got an, American accent. Anyway, so he's living in the Arctic with a Kodak disposable camera and 2 polar bears and his wife in a glass capsule. His wife's in a glass tube, and then these bozos in a submarine are like, let's breach here. They're like, yeah, we detect like 4.5 life forms. And they're like, yep, just go up there. So Mr. Freeze and these people in the cave, the submarine breaks his wife in half. And then he's like, I'm going to turn all of you into icebergs, which also, so he froze these people. It's the Arctic. Presumably they're still there in an unknown cave. Whatever. Mr. Freeze is like, well, I need my wife to be not dead. Help, please. And so this and so this doctor guy is like, oh, I guess I can help, please. And he's like, here's a piece of gold, which I don't know. It's in the Arctic. It's in the ice, and you can have all of it. I don't know. And fucking Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon are like, yeah, we're gonna schmooze up on each other. And then Mr. Freeze is like, oh, the doctor's like, we need we need Barbara Gordon's intestines. And so they go to steal Barbara Gordon, and she's like, don't hurt Dick. And he's like,
what is Goofy's accent supposed to be?
I don't know, but I'm glad he recognized it was supposed to be Goofy.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just sitting here being like, is that supposed to be it's Southern adjacent.
It's Goofy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to chase you guys in this car. I'm going to steal your motorcycle. Here's my Corvette. Gonna jump over this toll plaza. Boy, oh boy, that dick can soar. So, yeah, the long and short, and I'm just gonna really short this long, is they take Mr. Freeze and this doctor take Barbara Gordon and the Kodak disposable camera to an oil platform to perform the remove your inside surgery. And then Batman and Robin get there to save her just in time. And then the fucking doctor's shooting up all the oil tanks from Oil Co. USA. Kodak disposable cameras
this is probably the best one to do a Goofy voice in.
Don't hurt this girl that I like that's chained up and I can't let her outside because I don't know, morals or something. And everything gets on fire and everyone's trying to escape. And Mr. Freeze falls down a hole into the, water-ish. And he's dying because he doesn't have his whole suit thing to keep him all cryoed up or whatever. But the polar bears are going to take him to shore in a not cryo location, so I don't know. He just survives, I guess. So Mr. Freeze is alive. Nora becomes revived. Mr. Freeze is creeping up on some hut, really opportunely timed, and he sees in a news report that Nora's alive, and he's like, fuck yeah. And then he walks with his ice cast out into the snow like Ernie Shackleton or whatever. You get episode 130. Do you want to go watch Season Girl?
Season Girl.
My throat.
Listeners, strap on your seatbelts, especially if you're about to drive a car. We start off.
It's Batman.
There's a fashion show, and someone shows up with a bunch of Easter gear and some Chippendales dancers. And the head of the Chippendales is like, I got eggs. And there's an egg-citing surprise for you, and throws an egg. She throws an egg and catches the announcer lady, who looks kind of like that other lady whose name I can't think of right now.
Oh, no. It counts, I guess, yeah.
And then there's a Gotham Motors.
Well, you got it.
Auto show. And then the girl shows up with her Chippendales and 4th of July. We're going to catch you with our hat fireworks and our American flag banner, which kind of throws like a spear and then behaves like Indiana Jones's whip. And then, and then the last one. I'm already blanking here. Hold on. I can use my memory. This is fine. I have short-term memory. Ready for this? Are you ready for this? She's in black and she blows leaves in. Oh no. She was in red again. Never mind. So she's in red.
I got this.
She's in red. What was the? Oh no! It was for a TV show. It was for a TV show thing. That was hilarious, by the way. The Model Girls, a show about models going to school, and it's tough for them. And one of the girls' foreheads starts at the back of her head, and that's interesting. The satirical TV show was the best part of this episode. Anyway, TV shows. Somebody else gets abducted by, I don't even fucking remember. Bruce and Batgirl find a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they find out that she's at her old nightclub.
Gloss over that. Yeah, whatever. They find a dinosaur. Okay.
And then the guy who's going to retire, Bruce is like, hey, don't worry. Capitalisms exist. You don't have to retire anymore. You can work until you're unable to, old man. And then he goes, yeah, all I want to do is work for the man. And then Batman and Batgirl go to the club where the girl is. And they beat up the 3 henchmen pretty easily. And then the girl who is the bad girl, who is this she used to be a supermodel. And then she turned 30 and nobody loved her anymore. And then they wrapped her up in rope. The end.
I love the real ending of that one. You're so over this episode, and they wrapped her up in a rope. The end. You're just one sentence.
James, I don't know how you wanted. Whoa, this is almost 2 pages.
What is it? Who?
Episode 131. Open mouth B old man.
I got this. I'm not going to do a voice for this one. It's too long.
Sure.
Superman is flying in his space dick, and he's like, Captain's log. I'm looking through the windshield of the spacecraft, and I see no signs of life, and the scanner finds no signs of life. But wait, what's that? It was kind of weird. When he's not wearing his Superman regular outfit, he's just Clark Kent in space outfit. So he's flying in his space dick. Clark Kent in space outfit goes down to an underground lair after seeing a destroyed city and gets a hologram projection, which Brian has all sorts of questions about that gives the quick synopsis of how this planet was destroyed because Krypton exploded. So we get a hologram projection of this chick saying that Krypton blew up, it fucked up their planet, knocked it out of orbit, killed everybody pretty much. This episode was kind of brutal. Anyway, and she's like, yeah, froze me and the family. We're the last, somebody please help us. We Walt Disney'd ourselves. Basically, the family's frozen, but Clark Kent looks over. They're Disney frozen, and one of them has an icicle coming out of his chest, and the other 2 are just frozen in very gruesome background painting kind of ways. And Clark Kent in super space outfit says, oh no, I am too late. And then he looks up and says, oh, maybe I'm not. An animated Supergirl is sitting frozen in her non-background painting capsule unit. I don't know. Fast forward!
That's been a long time coming.
Where am I? Clark has dropped Kara Supergirl to be at his parents' house. And, oh god, okay, it's not important, but we get a similar visual callback to Clark learning to fly around the farm, blah, 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 but we get the Supergirl version, and she is just Disney princessing flying through the sky. So they're at the dinner table, and she's talking with the fam, and Superman's like, uh-oh, Intergang's fucking shit up. And she's like, who's Intergang? And he's like, don't worry about it, you just stay here in Kansas, I'm gonna go fight people. And she's like, I want to fight, and he's like, nah-uh. And then we're gonna fast forward. You're just throwing them all in now.
It's about time.
To Metropolis, and we see the tech booth again. So yeah, they're all fucking shit up, and we get back to the Daily Planet, and Clark is like, I'm a nerd. And then Supergirl's like, hi, I'm someone who's undercover. And Clark is like, get the fuck out of here. And she's like, a tee-hee. And then Intergang is fucking shit up, and Jimmy's like, I could make I could write shit about shit. And she's like, let's hold hands and go fuck together. Fuck shit up together. That's what I meant to say. Totally. This is to me now.
Oh, do you want me to read it?
Yeah, we could do it. Yeah, you read it, James. Yeah.
Jimmy and Kara go to the rec center, later known as Rector, because Sen fell off when it exploded or something. The Hobbs Bay Rec Center. There's a bunch of teenagers there that aren't in blue suits, and 2 blue suit teenagers walk in. And I thought to myself, do they know what blue suit means? Or are they also blue suits? Or are they just random teenagers and they don't know what's going on? But then an elderly woman walks in and says, "Oh, I'm Granny. Hello, my children."
This chick shows up and she's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Granny. I'm totally a woman here. You kids are going to do what I say. Is that all right? Granny, look at me. I'm a lady. I got lipstick on and pointy fingernails. Anyway, I'm getting canceled. That's why I quit social media early." Back to me.
Supergirl rips her shirt off and there's another shirt underneath and she says, Jimmy says, "Supergirl? Supergirl's Supergirl." And then the other ladies come through with boob dots and they're like, "Hey, we're going to fuck you up." And then they fuck her up. The female furries. That's what she said.
This is you again. One of them is like female Wolverine. One of them's the Big Boot. And the other one is Electric Girl. By the way, here are my butts and bits and boobs. They fight. They fight Supergirl and Superman. Well, they're fighting Supergirl. Supergirl's actually doing pretty good. Superman comes in and gets his ass kicked. And then they garage door open the boom tube or whatever. So they beat up Superman. They take him to, my brain is wanting to say Acropolis.
I almost hit the bell.
So full of liquid. Apocalypse. That doesn't feel right. Apocalypse? We're gonna bring a gift to Darkseid. And then Supergirl's like, "Oh no! Oh wait, I found the garage door opener." She punches through the floor and she gets the other garage door opener, and then she goes to Acropolis. And then she's like, "No dogs, I'm gonna hide. Uh-oh, these open mouth bee old men who kind of remind me, Brian, of bees for some reason." Chase her into the Supergirl's like, "Oh no, I gotta get away from these big open mouth old bee men thing." And then she like Tasmanian devils and incinerates 3 of them. And she's like, "Yes, good job, me. I just murdered 3 people. It's like killing 3 old men open mouth bees." And then I was giggling so hard while like writing that. And that's one of my favorite things that you've said on this whole thing.
Thank you.
And then lucky timing, she sees Superman and he's all chained up, and the furries are like, "We're gonna deliver Superman to Darkseid," and then they do. And then Supergirl's like, "Nuh-uh." And also Darkseid, the old lady is building a super magnet that's gonna pull a meteor, comet, whatever, to Earth and kill it. And then Supergirl's like, "No," and they fight. And then they bust Superman out and garage door opener, and the furries gang up on Granny, and he's like, "Ah." Also, really anticlimactic. He's like, "I'm going to blast you with my eye beams." And it kind of like slaps their butts a little bit as they're flying through the garage door. They kind of get a like, "Ooh," and they fly through the opening. And then 3 guys get really pervy at Supergirl the end. Oh yeah, sorry. Superman takes half of a comet and pushes it out to space, and Supergirl punches through the other half of the comet and incinerates it. And then she falls to Earth slow enough for Superman to catch her. And Jimmy writes an article. 1:32, it's time for Monster to come out time.
John Trumbull.
Oh, yes.
This episode jumps right into it. It starts out with...
Wait, no, John Trumbull is over the edge. Did I write John Trumbull? No, it's time for Monster to come out time. You skipped it completely. You're drunk, you idiot.
Oh, I'm gonna need a hand here. So we have Clarion. He's the witch boy. What the hell's the cat's name? Tinkle.
Oh, a real. You wrote them down. Is that the sticky note with the names of characters in it?
Nope.
Oh, okay. He's probably threw it away.
Okay. Yep. Oh, God. Catwoman with boobs. And here we have Blood. Mr. Blood? Jason Blood. Also, who is also Etri? What's his name? Etrigan. Ugh.
This voice kind of matches this sound.
Okay. All right. So here we go. There's an auction. And Clarion, who's the most annoying little boy that you want to punch in the face, even if you're someone who's generally a fan of little boys. That sounds gross. I'm going to keep going. You would want to punch this little boy in the face, and he's always stroking his cat, whose name is Tickle. What a terrible name. And they're at an auction house, and there's a branding iron with a, oh my God, with an MG, which is an auto company. I think that's the M, what they used in the MG logo. No, I just.
Oh, you just can't read. Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure.
So anyway, there's a branding iron with an M on it, and Clarion really wants. All right, so I'm gonna rip through this, which I'm not, according to the link to this, Brian, from the past. So they're at an auction house and they're fighting for this branding iron, and it's all, oh, let's start at like $10,000 or whatever. And homeboy Clarion is like $100,000, and Mr. Jason Bourne is like 110 or 50 or whatever. And there's a bidding war, and then Bruce at the end of the bidding war is like $1 million, and everyone's like, oh, gasp. And then then Bruce is like, oh, hello, Jason, my old friend. Let's shake hands, and I'm obviously gonna give you this branding iron when we get back to your apartment for some sweet magic. And then they're at Jason Blood's apartment, and the cat and the little boy was stroking Tickle jumps through the window and is like, I'm gonna steal this. And Bruce is like, hell no. And then the cat turns into a ninja warrior with fur, and they have a battle. And then Jason's like, it's really funny how easy the New England accent slips in after a minute.
Somehow you're reading better with it too.
It's the thing, when I'm doing this, I'm like fighting my real voice. And now I'm letting it out. I don't have to fight anything. Bruce is like, hell no. And the cat turns into a ninja warrior with fur. Oh, I said that. Jason's like, well, not this shit again. And then he's like, magic words that kind of rhyme. It's time for a monster to come out time. And then suddenly turns into a demon monster Etrigan with glowing red eyes. And he almost wins a battle with the cat lady, but not quite. And then the cat lady brings the branding iron back to the demon boy, who, by the way, has horns sticking out of the side of his head. And just no one fucking questions this, apparently. And then like Tickle drops the branding iron, and Clarion's like, hey, cool. Guess what? Jason Blood, it's now you're under my control. And he's like, I'm under control.
It's like drunk history, basically.
Pretty much.
Trying to imagine. It's like a step-by-step of the episode.
Yeah. And the demon and Jason Blood body separates, and Jason Blood starts aging very rapidly. So Clarion becomes the controller of Etrigan, and is like, we're gonna fuck shit up. And then they go and fuck shit up. Donald Charleston Pepper in Devastator 3. I would watch the fuck out of that, by the way. So it's also funny to like read the things that I'm saying and then be like, that is what a New England person would say, but without the accent. Yeah. I'd watch the fuck out of that, by the way. So they're just out on the town destroying shit, and Batman shows up and is like, you're done being I'm John Wayne for this. You're done being a kid. You're done being I'm John Wayne for this. You're done being a kid. And then the kid's like, I'm gonna magic you, and suddenly Batman sprouts thorns, and not like of the Rupert variety. And then Jason Blood, now much older, is looking through a magic ball and is like, no, you don't. And then he unthorns Batman, and then Clarion, this is crazy, is like, oh, well, someone's messing.
You're embellishing a little bit.
Someone's messing with this, so I'm gonna turn him into a tree. And then Batman bitch slaps him with the tree arm. He tree slaps him, and then he untrees, and then there's a fight, and Batman at the end of his big long fight manages to get the branding iron, and then Batman just recites some fucking magic words, and suddenly, oh god, Etrigan is no longer under control of Clarion. Well, Etrigan is breaking the Jason Blood's apartment, and it's almost not that important. And when Batman says the magic words, they recombine, and Etrigan, who is now a good guy again, goes to save Batman. And there's a little bit of like, there's some good animation, a little bit like, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z or whatever. that happens, and then Etrigan, like, don't worry, he's gonna go into his room like a naughty boy, and then he's in a snow globe, and Jason Blood is reading the newspaper, and then there's a zoom out, the end.
Jesus Christ.
Did you love that?
I did, actually. It was pretty good.
Now you get episode 133, I'm Not a Shot Cookie with John Trumbull, which you were trying to steal.
Oh, no, you were
me?
trying to steal from me.
You were trying to steal that from me.
Here. You come over here.
You want me to fucking go over there?
Here.
I'm going all the way over there.
Oh, no, we're switching microphones.
I'm going to be on your microphone now.
Oh, no.
This is some crazy fucking shit. No one's ever done this before. Okay, ready? You start reading, and I'm going to start reading too.
This episode jumps right into it. It starts out with Batman and Robin on the run in the Batcave, and they're being chased by the police. And the first line of the episode is Commissioner Gordon saying, "Bruce Wayne, stop where you are." So immediately you're like, oh shit, what is happening? What's going on? Batman's on the run from the police, and Commissioner Gordon knows his secret identity. What? How did we get here? There's the strong opening for an episode, right? No, this is great. I like it. The police are not, they are opening fire on them. They get out of there thanks to Alfred tackling Commissioner Gordon, who's like, go, get away, sir. Go and save yourself. They get out of the Batcave, they're on the Batboat, and they're being chased by a police boat, the captain of which apparently is Amish for some reason. Oh no, it's all the way over there. You gotta bring the bell with you. Bring the bell.
Fucking cheers. Holy fuck.
I was drowning.
I gotta pee again now that I'm standing
Oh
up.
no, we can finish this one.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Oh Jesus, it's long.
Yeah, you can finish that one.
No, I like what we're doing.
I know you do, but you gotta leave the Jamie wanting more, you know?
They get out of there thanks to... They get back out of the Batcave, they're on the Batboat, and they're being chased by a police boat, the captain of which is apparently... I said this already. And then Nightwing catches up with both of them in his little jet ski thing. Nightwing with his magnificent Billy Ray Cyrus mullet. He catches up with them. He helps the guys get away from the police. Then they're squoiled away into a cave or something like that. Squoiled. It's a little vague. Squoiled. And they're just like... I can't believe it's ending like this. Oh, it's really bad. It's awful. And then they have a flashback to how it all got this way, which in the light of what we find out later in the episode is exceptionally weird. It's a flashback inside a dream sequence, which is really odd. So they say, okay, well, the Scarecrow seized control of City Hall, and we were there. We were rescuing the hostages. And Batgirl gets blasted by the Scarecrow, and I think he knocks her off the roof, right? And then she falls on top of City Hall. And of course, Gordon and Bullock are speeding there in a patrol car. And then we have a point of view inside the patrol car. And Batgirl just hits the fucking windshield. This episode goes hard. Then Batgirl is like, Dad, and she's dying. And then he's like, oh, crap, Batgirl is my daughter, Barbara. I had no idea. I know, I'm just whatever. Oh my God. Barbara dies. And then Bullock.
You're going walking now.
And then Bullock immediately goes, playtime's over, freak. Lose the belt, lose the mask now. Bullock has been like waiting for this day. He's like, I finally get to bust Batman. And then we go back to Wayne Manor, where Bruce is just sitting there brooding in his study as he is wont to do. And he gets a phone call and it's Gordon and he says, 10 minutes on Barbara's computer told me everything I need to know. Nice security, Babs. Gordon, he's a tad PO'd. He's coming after Bruce. He's got a whole SWAT team coming out to Wayne Manor. They run in, they break down the front door of Wayne Manor. There's a nice little grace moment where Bruce says, I'm sorry to the parent. I don't know what that was. To the painting of his parents right before he goes down. And then that kind of brings us back to where the episode began. We finished the flashback and then Nightwing's like, okay, well, let me go. What is he going off to do? He's like, let me go do investigation. He's doing a supply run. So Nightwing's like, let me go back to my loft. I'll get all my cool stuff from my loft and then we can be on the run. So Nightwing is captured and exposed and we see news footage of him arrested and unmasked. So Bruce tells Timm, you gotta leave. You gotta give yourself up. The cops won't blame you. You're just a kid. And Timm doesn't want to abandon Bruce. What are you doing over there?
Sending nudes.
Oh, we got a scene with Gordon where Mayor Hill is telling him, hey, you got to realize how bad this makes us look. Your daughter was in Batman's posse, his brigade. So the city council's basically asking Gordon to resign. And then we have a humorous cutaway where basically Batman's secret identity is now publicly exposed. Everybody knows that he's billionaire Bruce Wayne. We've got like Harley Quinn, Mad Hatter, Riddler, and Ventriloquist and Scarface. And they're talking about doing a class action lawsuit. We got Johnny Cochran cameo because that was still topical in 1998. So Gordon is asked to resign. So he's lost his daughter. He's lost his job. He's got nothing left. And then we see him meeting with some shadowy figure in the Gotham prison. So we got Barbara's funeral, and Gordon has an earpiece, and he's waiting for tips from the cops on if anybody spotted Batman at his daughter's funeral. This episode goes hard once again. Cops spot Batman, then Gordon mobilizes the police against him, and then we find out who Gordon was talking to at the prison, and it was Bane. So he fights Bane. He's like, fight to the death, and Batman just gives the most fatalistic response ever. He's like, it makes no difference now. And Gordon goes like, he tries to stop Bane from killing him because he's like, I want him alive to rot away in Arkham. Surrounded by the monsters, surrounded by the monsters he's created. Which, ooh, yeah, it's great. Batman manages to electrocute Bane using the bat signal. Then he cuts his little steroid cord, which is the go-to move when you're fighting Bane, I guess.
That's how you know you can do a New York accent. You can say steroid cord.
Steroid cord. And Gordon gets knocked off the roof just like Barbara did before. And Batman talks him down. He's like, give me a hand. And then he's like, for Barbara. And he gives him his hand. And then Bane knocks the bat signal off its moorings. And it starts rolling toward Batman and Gordon and knocks them both off the roof. And that's the end of the episode. Batman's dead. You get, I think, the best one.
Oh, shit.
134. I just don't wanna.
I'm hold on, I have to pee before reading this one.
Oh my god. Okay. It'll set it up. I'll sit here with the listener, don't worry.
Oh, really? Okay. You don't have to pee?
I do.
Oh.
I'll sit here with the listener this time. You can sit here with the listener when I pee.
Okay.
Hey, listener. Hi, Dylan. And all you other Dylans. I hope this is entertaining. If it's not, well, oh god. Oh, that's the microphone. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry for your ears. If it's not, well, then stop listening. What are you even doing? You have free will. You have the power to stop listening to this. I would highly recommend finishing it out that you've already gotten this far. A couple hours, at least. What's it like where you're at? What's the weather like? Tell me in like a Steve Blues Clues style thing. Let me know. Okay. Yeah, we got some of that over here too. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's good.
You having a good time in there?
Well, I would be having a better time if you were here.
Oh, wow, man. I don't love you that way.
Hey, can you come back?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wash my hands, good boy.
okay.
Hi.
Do you think that
Kerem Mazman.
is listening?
I don't know, man.
He's been gone for a long time.
I feel like, and I get it because I fall off of podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I think people just fall off.
Can we like Beetlejuice him?
Kerem Mazman. Kerem Mazman. Kerem Mazman.
Oh, he stopped the music.
Wow.
That was freaky.
The look of shock in your face.
Okay, now I pee.
Okay. Look, I don't know who listens to this. Like, would I listen to this? I don't think I would. Maybe if I was like cleaning or like doing a project where like I didn't really need to be listening intently to the podcast, maybe I'd listen to it, but I don't think I would. So I don't fault any of you. Well, this is the weird thing. I don't fault anybody not listening to it. The people who didn't listen to it won't hear me saying this. The only people who are going to hear me saying that are the people listening still. So like, I guess I need to not give the people who not listening permission to not listen, but I need to give the people listening a congratulations for listening. So congratulations, I guess. I appreciate you sincerely. If you're listening to this, I really do appreciate you. So here's Jamie, but we love you, and you are definitely one of the good ones if you're still listening at this point.
Kerem Mazman.
And that. Okay.
Yeah, you got the next one. Can you read the title again?
Episode 134. I just don't wanna. Synopsis. Nobody cares.
Nice.
The end.
That's it.
Episode 135.
Can you tell me what that one was?
No, fucking
That was
not.
the Firefly episode.
Oh.
It makes sense now, doesn't it?
It makes a little more sense. Episode 135. I'm just so fast, I can't catch a baby and a crocodile. I'm just so fast, I can't catch a baby and a crocodile.
Read this one?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Baby doll is back. She wants to be taken seriously. She's got an adult job. She's trying to behave like an adult and not be judged or whatever for her, what did she say? Condition. And she sees, I feel like that, condition. TV announcer voice.
Yeah.
And then she sees Killer Croc on TV and decides that he's also misunderstood and that they should be a couple.
Should we do every 10? What number is this?
I don't
for
fucking
whiskey?
know. 135.
Okay, we had 2 more.
I'm
so sorry.
So there should be a couple. And then she breaks him out of prison-ish. And they go on a crime spree, and then Batman stops them. There's some wild do you mind not breading while I'm reading in a TV announcer voice?
Kerem Mazman.
He always stops the music. Go on a crime spree, and then Batman stops them. There's some weird shit that goes on in the middle, and then Batman stops them, I guess. He gets splashed with some hot water, and then she says, "Why'd you make me do it?" Essentially, and then the credits roll. What? What? I'll also read Batgasm. That's kind of
Okay.
Although, well, so we got Batgasm's a short one.
That's fine.
137 is a short one, and then we have like another long one. What should I do? Should I let you just take this over from
No,
here?
you could do those super short ones, I guess. if you
Okay.
want. Okay.
Batgasm. So I kind of like this voice.
Yes.
There's an you could do it like a comedy movie. There's an ex-stunt woman named fucking Ruby. What's her name? Roxy Rocket. She likes rockets, and she is just out for the thrill of the game. What is the episode called? Yeah, there you go. She's out for the ultimate thrill. Wow, this episode got real horny at the end. I think that's one where like everybody had that same comment.
Yeah.
There was just like Batman, and there was Roxy, and there was whiskey. It was fine.
That was the start of spit whiskey in my mouth. Is like a phrase we were using.
We start out the episode, and Roxy is stealing jewels and jewelry from rich people on a blimp. And then she's like, later, nerds. And she jumps out of what?
No, go.
Okay. And she jumps out of the party blimp. And the cops are like, yep, she's falling to her death. And then she's like, come here, Rocket. And she like jumps on her rocket. She does say that. She says that. Anyway, the long and short of this story is she's trying to steal stuff, get away from Batman, sell it to Penguin, and do it all over again. And that kind of happens a few times. And then at the end, there's the ultimate chase, the ultimate thrill. And she kind of like climaxes on a rocket while being restrained by Batman. Episode 137, 12 dead people and 2 jiggle bones. So you want me to do this other short one?
I was just trying to do like comedy movie trailers.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, go ahead.
Catwoman steals a cat sculpture, and some cat cultists get upset by this. And they're all like, well, now you gotta die. Lol, wait, join our crew. You, Batman, came to save you. And you beat him up because you're stealing brown objects. Now, it's time to sacrifice him to a cat. It's a big cat. It's a genetically modified cat.
So good. I don't know.
Then the mutant cat doesn't get anybody except for everybody. But Catwoman and Batman.
Kerem Mazman.
And then the zoo happens, and Mr. Freeze goes by on a gurney, and Commish gives Batman back his belt. The end. Oh, Wolverine happened a lot. Episode 138, Solid Nitrogen.
Okay, we should whiskey because that was 137.
Whiskey!
Whiskey! Spit whiskey in my mouth.
You're not gonna say it.
Solid nitrogen, that's what I'm on? All right.
Oh, come on, don't do that. It's good whiskey.
I wasn't ready. All right, so here's what's up.
Hey, listener.
We got Clark. We got Jimmy.
Clark and Jimmy.
They're on a boat.
Boat having times.
Karen Mosman. Jimmy's taking pictures, and then he's like, oh,
Pictures by Jimmy.
I gotta take pictures of this hot lady for the Spank Bank.
Spank bank
And then
picture taking.
she walks over and she's like, hope you got my ass. And then she like, psst, and like
Pisses.
sizzles his camera a little
Uh-oh.
bit
She
without
doesn't piss on his
anybody
camera.
noticing except for us.
Just us.
So
you and me.
Jimmy gets his film messed up by Mystery Fire Lady.
That's her name.
And then she walks into the women's bathroom and says, locking bathroom doors? I don't think so. And she melts the doorknob.
She's into voyeurism.
Don't know how she gets out of there, but she melts the doorknob.
With her hand.
So she shoots super hot flames into the very thin HVAC duct.
Out of
only
her hand.
Only capable of moving air, but somehow it also moves fire.
Fire moving vents.
And it's like having to emphasize, like, just to clarify what he's saying.
I got you, okay?
And the ship catches fire, and
Fire
everybody
ship.
runs.
Run from the fireboat,
And
Betty.
Superman's like, uh-oh, I gotta walk backwards into these flames as Clark Kent and then fly forward as Superman. No one will see that.
Whoopsie doodle costume change.
So Superman's getting people out, and fire-causing lady, Volcana, is stealing objects.
That's kleptomania and organized personnel.
Mostly brown ones. So yeah, the objects.
Oh!
The objects. So yeah, she's stealing stuff. That was stealing stuff. And then she, like, whatever, she gets away.
Goodbye.
And then Clark is all like, oh no, who's this? I gotta go down and figure out the stuff.
Big questions from a big man.
And these people are like, oh, you can't figure out this stuff. It's for your own good.
Bigger questions for a smaller man.
And he's like, oh no, I gotta walk down this street. And then the guy is like, I'm just somebody in a raggedy coat reading the newspaper. JK lol, I'm a government agent, and I'm gonna follow Clark Kent.
Not so secretive pedestrians.
Oh no, he disappeared into this alleyway.
The vanishing man.
Guess I better go back to government agency. So, I don't know, Superman says a, like, not my government type of comment, which was a little out of place if I'm being honest.
Anarchy.
And then Clark goes to a paranormal home for the paranormal. And it's like, I don't know, daycare version of X-Men or something.
We're all confused.
And you have all these kids who are like nursing their superpowers.
Autism.
And then we get Bobby Hill with more hair hiding under a table. No, you did. So there's like a short Professor X. We're autistic. It's fine. We get to say it.
Yeah, okay.
So there's like a short Professor X walking around giving a tour.
Professor X doesn't walk.
Oh, no, stop. It's getting worse. And then Clark is like, hey, tell me about everybody you've ever had that can light stuff on fire.
Big questions.
For a big man. and he's like, whoops, look at the time. Whoop, 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 whoop. Pretty much literally, by the way. And he skedaddles. And
Wait,
then,
what's the name of the guy who does sound effects for Police Academy?
Oh, I don't remember. But I was thinking Zoidberg.
Oh, there you go.
But
That's good too.
And he skedaddles, and then stuff happens, and Clark's like, hey, come here. I want to give you a milkshake if you tell me about it. So he tells him about it. And then Superman goes to Volcana to save her from the government agency that captured her and put her in a thing that she can't make fire. Also put her in like a weird, sexy bikini.
Sexy penitentiary.
And then Superman shows up and is like, hey, you better let her out of that place. And they're all like, we're going to blast you with laser. And then Superman's like, I'm going to stomp real hard. Then he breaks Volcana out of her goldfish bowl. And she's all like, I'm going to kill everyone. And then Superman's like, liquid nitrogen. No.
Is it a gas or is it a liquid?
And then she explodes, and then we, like, more or less cut to deserted island, and Superman's bringing her supplies, and the end.
Bikini time.
You get 139 Mythical Billionaire Paul Bunyan by John Freeman.
Oh, that was a good one. So it starts off with Farmer Brown finishing apparently an hour-long speech about his giant farm animals before he does the big reveal. There's 10 people there, maybe, to watch this presentation. So yeah, he reveals a gigantic cow that immediately escapes from his prison and goes on a rampage. It started trying to kill everybody there. Bruce, quick thinking, he pretended to jump out of a window, but used the curtain to mask the animal, and it ran into a wall, I think. And then it cuts to presumably later, and Bruce is on a date with someone that does not remember. Someone that he does not remember the name of. Does he need to drink water?
I was thinking, yeah.
She looks offended and then says she sees a bug. Oh, old lady sees the bug who's also at the restaurant. And then he turns around and there's a 6-foot bug behind him, a giant mantis. Turns out there's 6 of them, and they're going on a rampage, tearing up cars, killing a bunch of people. They destroy this kid's bike and destroy his backpack. So Bruce springs into action, turns into Batman. Conveniently, they're right next to a giant truck of pesticide, which he shoots out of a gun at them. It doesn't seem to really do anything. He fights with them a little bit, and then he kicks one in the chest, and they all die. He brings back the arms to the Batcave and does some kind of genetic testing to reveal that it was I don't even understand the logic of this. Somehow he deduces that the bugs were some sort of initiation, a false... It was a warning. Why didn't he just send the real ones at that point? Why did he have to do the warning ones? If they were the real ones, they could have killed a bunch of people. So then it cuts to Farmer Brown's lair, I believe, which it looks like a farm, but it's really Andy's room from Toy Story underground on an island. And his daughter or sex slave, or I don't know, it's taboo, whatever it is. So then he releases 2 more bulls on the city, right? They're also giant. Well, actually, they're both bulls, but one has an udder. So they're smashing stuff up. Robin and Batgirl come in and are they come in on the Batmobile, right? And it's very effective. The bull just shoves it to the side and it spins around 8 times before slamming into a building. And both of them are just this is whatever. This is cool. The chickens are terrorizing the giant police Zeppelin. What a waste of money. So the blimp is going down. Batman, he distracts the chickens, and the pilots are able to land it on top of the building that didn't have a door. So they have to get another blimp to pick those guys up in. So Batgirl, she uses the rope to lasso the bull, and it goes into some wet cement. And then I think Robin is being chased by the other one, and it goes inside the building. It smashes inside. Oh yeah, that's right. It's a bull in a china shop. That was funny. Oh yeah. And around this time, he says, "Holy cow!" Right, Brian?
Oh. And then Batgirl comes up with the cement truck or whatever, and smiles at its ass. Back to you.
John, this is too big.
That's what they all say.
So then I think it goes to Commissioner Gordon's. Oh, yeah. So Batman, I think, is being chased by the chickens, and he goes inside a factory, which the tanks are labeled B, B, and Q, which I didn't put together until later that it was barbecue. And then, the chickens slam into one of the tanks. Barbecue sauce goes all over
barbecue sauce.
Wasn't there 4 or 5 of the chickens too? What happened to the rest of them? Oh, right. The rocket nets. Okay. So they drowned to death. And it turns out he did break the kill rule. It just depends on how he defines animals. I don't think he thinks that the bugs are animals for some reason, because he kills a lot of bugs in this episode. So it goes to Commissioner Gordon's office. Batman steps out of the shadows, and remember that Farmer Brown guy? I think this has something to do with, he used to be called Farmer Brown. I don't know what he goes by now. I just know he used to go by Farmer Brown. The door opens, and there's this dark figure there.
Kerem Mazman.
It walks into the light. Jesus Christ. Is that a curse or a magic spell?
I don't know.
The door opens up, this dark figure there, walks into the light and is revealed to be a goat, has some weird like stuff on its face, and it starts talking. Everyone is horrified, including the audience. It's just an eldritch horror. I think it tells them where to go find Farmer Brown's island, right? Oh no, yeah. It tells them to follow them and bring $50 million, which is $95 million in 2024. I had to look it up, which that's a lot of money, but it's like not that much for the crimes that he's committing, right? What's the other cop's name? I can't remember.
Oh no.
I don't mind a water break. So he brings the money. He follows the goat to the lair. They kidnap him, I guess. So Farmer Brown tells the daughter, I can't think of her name now.
It's John, to be fair. All this are two. Well, Bullock wasn't. Yeah.
Unnamed female character number 1. He tells her to feed or turn him into pig slop, and then she throws him into the mud, which is, it's shit. Let's be honest. And then the mutant pig comes out of nowhere. Like we had, there was like a full shot of the area before, and the pig wasn't standing there. And then all of a sudden the pig is there, and it tries to kill him. And then Batgirl and Robin somehow foil
memories.
the pig. I think they trip it and it goes sliding. Robin slams onto his mouth, so he can't, use his mouth as a weapon. I'd be more concerned about his tusks, honestly. The mouth didn't look that dangerous. Someone does tranquilize it. He shoots 3 tranquilizers. One goes into its eyelid, of all things. So Farmer Brown's like, what is that sound? And they turn around, so they start fighting Batgirl and Robin. Batman shows up and starts fighting Farmer Brown, kind of. They get their ass kicked by Farmer Brown, honestly. This old mulleted dude with a pitchfork, he kicks all of their asses, almost kills Batman. And then I think they kidnap Robin and Batman, and somehow they have him... and somehow have them pointed at the literal stake. So it's revealed that, they go into the silo, trap them there. It's revealed that it's actually a missile that's going to be shot into Gotham City, into the Central Park. It's filled with bugs these are the real bugs this time, not the test bugs. The real bugs are going... Johnny boy.
This is a long one.
Yeah, it's filled with the real bugs. The real bugs are going to...
As much critters as possible is what we want out of this experience.
The real bugs are going to feed upon the citizens of Gotham. So Farmer Brown tells Emmy Lou, is that her name? Mm-hmm. Oh, sick. That we have at least 1 minute to get to the boat. So they get to the boat, which I was trying to count. It seemed like it was probably about a minute. They did that pretty good. And the rocket starts blasting off. One of the bugs comes down and starts trying to kill everybody. Batman tricks it into destroying the door of the missile, so they're all able to escape out of the missile. Everyone except for Batman runs out of the building. Batman gets into the destroyed truck and very artfully, he's masterful, leaps off a pile of dirt and smashes through the door of the rocket, which kills 2 or 3 bugs, by the way. He directly kills bugs
Just
there.
Remember John's shocked. He's masterful. I'm surprised by this.
The missile gets into the air, and then it shows Emmy Lou and Farmer Brown in their boat, and she says, oh, isn't it purty? And the missile explodes, and all the debris from the missile conveniently just lands around the boat, and it rocks it enough that it sinks it, and they go into the water. And then Batgirl says, oh, isn't it purty? Oh, now that's purty. But then they're in prison and the episode ends. Here, do you want to read the last 2 sentences that are different people? Sorry.
I say, and there's a caca on the island. There's a rooster crow. Cock-a-doodle-doo. And John says, inferring that there's still mutant animals in there, I guess, that are starving to death. Okay.
Big one, John. Thank you.
Yeah, holy shit. I got punching things and crushing bears. Episode 140.
We have gotten off track with our titles, haven't we?
Can I warm up? Do I do this voice? This isn't I always try to do it at the end where my throat's shot from screaming and alcohol.
Try it.
Everyone's on the rooftops. Here comes a monkey climbing tower. It's bad. It's bad right now. I need water. Monkey climbing tower wearing a trench coat. So it doesn't look like monkey. Trench coat and hat get disturbed. Uh-oh, monkey. It's actually a gorilla.
Oh, God.
And Dick and crew go to a circus. Hello, monkey. Don't touch monkey. Insurance liabilities. Red herring. Not really. Bears. Uh-oh.
in a garage trying to steal microchips. Why do, bears? Oh no!
You
Fight
called
time!
the dog.
Batman Crush Bear. Nightwing also Murder Bear, but he's forklift certified, so it's okay. Harvey Bullock, you better figure out your bears. Clown, uh-oh, I don't talk. I'm a clown. Turns
You
out
called two dogs.
I'm actually the Mad Hatter, not Clown. Uh-oh, everybody and every animal is mind-controlled, including Snake. Ah, no! Have big fight. Uh-oh, mind control people are no longer mind controlled. Mad Hatter has gun. Uh-oh, big bye-bye gun. Mad Hatter captured, hat broken, Robin shoveling garbage? Literal garbage from a gorilla pen. Not poop, but garbage, boxes and bottles, and what the fuck, the end.
Not my best, but
it was good for that.
thank you.
Yeah.
You get 141 chipped beef.
Oh man,
We're getting there.
What's my accent for this one, or what?
Mickey
voice am I
Mouse,
doing? No.
I don't know. You could try another like different country type of thing, like a Scottish, Irishy thing, maybe.
Ooh, I don't think I could do that.
All right, Australian.
I couldn't do that either.
Well, I don't know. What do you have in your repertoire?
I don't know. Toi?
Repertoire?
Can we do a French accent? Okay, so Robin's like, bad guys, I'm going to get you. That's terrible.
Yep.
And then one of the bad guys is like, no, I am not. I'm going to get you, and then get away. And then Nightwing is like, hey, I'm going to get the bad guys, and then berate you for it. And then Robin's like, why don't you and Batman kiss anymore? And he's like, Timmy, we have to talk. And then we get a big old flashback, and the beef boils down to Batman who's wolfing up the bad guy. This is more like Belgium. This is more Belgium.
Whatever.
Yeah,
We all knew it.
roughing up a bad guy in front of
Hit
his.
your cord.
Fuck, I'm very sorry. Bad guy in front of his presumably wife and child, and Robin was like, fuck that shit. And then Batman and Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, aka also Bruce, but before that they are like, hey, let's just tell each other our deepest, darkest secrets in my sex dungeon. Wait. And Barbara's like, wait,
It seems
okay.
like a very just matter of fact thing. A French person. Let us tell each other our deepest, darkest secrets in my sex dungeon.
And they're all like, Batgirl, Batman, oh my god. Dick is Robin, what? Pourquoi?
Oh no.
And then they go to fight the Joker, alors. And then so they went where they are doing what, and then he goes into the fights, so that happened. And then Robin gets pissed at the end of the battle after beating the Joker, which is kind of weird. It seems a little out of place, and then he's like, that's it, I quit. And he throws his cape, he throws his mask, but he keeps everything else. He punches him, he throws bones at Batman's face, and then we get out of the flashback, and Robin's like, well, Dick, why don't you stop being a dick? And Robin, Nightwing now, is like, you know what, you're right. And then they like, oh, bat signal, let's all go together, hold hands.
That's almost like a not English, not first language at the end there. How you say hold hands?
It is literally, bat signal, let's all get together, hold hands.
Yeah, I know.
Episode, I can't even remember numbers in French. 142, regional kissing with Carl Noconia.
Oh my goodness.
So we're watching the episode nighttime. Previously on the Ultimate
Hold on,
Guile.
you're going to be doing Scottish. We need one more pull on this.
Fuck yeah.
No, we can
either
do the
way.
whiskey. Let's do the whiskey. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, aye.
All right.
I don't like that you deep throated your cut.
Previously on the Ultimate Guile, the Ultimate Thrill, we see everyone's new favorite, horniest bad girl racing through an underground highway. She flies to Superman, and she's like, oh, baby, he's strong and muscular.
And Clark/Soup says, "Why are you here?" And Batman has apparently gone missing, so Superman decides we don't actually know where he takes her. Where does Superman take Roxy Rocket? She's just never seen from again. So we cut to a random jewelry store, and two just thugs are robbing it. So Robin is there, still trying. Robin is trying to prevent
What is
this
your
crime.
accent doing, man?
Of course, you know what? His one acrobatic move he does where he swings off a coat rack was quite impressive. Superman shows up and paint mixes all the remaining henchmen in his one truck. And they have a conversation, and obviously Tim is a little argumentative. And then Superman is like, "Dude, I know it, like it's Bruce." And then they have the back and forth that Batman Bruce has disappeared. They're going to investigate it, but just as they do, the bat signal lights up. So we cut to on top of the GCPD, and we see Superman cosplaying as Batman. So we learn that Bane is there, and we go to investigate Wayne Enterprises, like what's happening to Bruce. We watch a video email in 1998 with better picture quality than we had now. and then we get, I believe, another first-time power, which is like microscopic vision. So we see the nanobots and the needle on the phone, then continue their investigation thinking, I don't know, for some reason I called them the League of Dweebs in my brain because we have Riddler's horrendous design and then Mad Adder and Bane. Mad Adder. So they show up with the redesigned Cave of Horrors. So we have a back and forth. And then what I love so much about this episode because of the gimmick of Superman being Batman, you then obviously have Bane, and this fight goes back and forth. Bane thinks he's killed him with one of the heads from where the Bionicles live. And then obviously Superman breaks out, and they're like, what's going on? And I had to write a note of this, which is Superman gives Bane the worst CTE that we've ever experienced in the show. Because the Foley sounds of him punching Bane to the point where it's normally like, oh, we gotta go do something, then we gotta cut the tube, right? So all the venom slips out. But he just beats him unconscious to the point where he's comatose face first on the ground. And then he's like, oh, I guess I'll unplug you. Boop. And so then Mad Adder's like, curiouser and curiouser. I didn't make these fucking bots. And then Superman's like, aliens. I wonder, Clark, who could have done it? So yeah, Brainiac comes out of the wall. And then what I like about this is we actually get more continuity from World's Finest, because we get Superman essentially just giving us...
You did that really good. World's Finest.
I get a couple of them right. Because we get Superman essentially just giving us all the exposition. Just like, you were involved with Wayne Tech was involved with Luthor Corp. World's Finest. Like in all of this tracks, which is super cool.
Oh my God.
And Bruce is just kind of like, I'm here, and everything's just happening around him. And then we get the fighting in space, or not in space, in the sky, in the Brainiac spaceship. And it just makes a bunch of Star Wars sounds. They just happen. And so then he goes into space. He can't disconnect his chest tube. He blows up, and we never see him again. And then we cut to the Batcave, and we see Bruce, and it's like,
Kyle, this is a big
I guess
one.
because Brainiac exploded, all your Brainiac STIs are gone. Blah, 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 blah. And then Superman's like, well, this was fun. And then he's like, you picked a good 10, what did you call him in Never Fear? He weighs 20 pounds. You picked a good 20-pound-year-old sidekick. And then he flies off of the Batcave, and it's kind of Christopher Reeve-esque where he like sort of flies past it.
That was such a ride, man.
Oh my fucking God, Brian. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the nice man. Apologize to our Scottish
The
friends.
world's finest.
World's. That was the best thing you've ever said in your life, man.
This is by Dan Reba, episode 143. Dweezil Zappa was on it. There you go. I don't know if you're doing a voice, you're just reading it, because holy shit.
Dan, why is it that is
An entire page.
at
Slightly
like
more.
10-point font.
We got like 3 pages left of this. We can do this. We got it. We got it.
Oh my God.
Kerem Mazman.
You got nothing. Oh, I didn't stop the music.
I got.
Oh well.
I didn't stop the music. What's a good? What's a voice I can do for like 10 minutes?
I don't know. This is nice.
Yeah,
I
I
just
just
wanna
want
listen to
you want to
this.
just like sip on some beer for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck yeah. What the fuck?
It's over now. All right.
Hey, all you ladies and germs out there in Radio Land. We don't have those in Jazz World, Jamie. Here to bring you a little Dan Reba synopsis. Here we go. I can't like sing like, so how did we begin?
That's going to take so long. Yeah.
The kids, the three kids hanging around outside of Gotham City. We open on an archaic machine that sold newspapers. Dan.
Dan. Oh, man.
So the kids see the newspaper headline about the arsonist, and they see a picture of Batman, which gets them
if you want to
talking
get
about Batman.
a split in this so we can share it, we can do that. Whatever. Just saying.
One of them actually has a flashlight with a little bat signal on it that it's pretty cute. So the first kid tells the other ones that Batman, what the fuck? Someone's going to be trying to fall asleep to this, and that's shit that's going to disturb them.
What?
Please clap.
It's all pretty cute. So the first kid tells the other ones that Batman is this mysterious creature. Does Dan have kids? Dan's into the kid thing?
Dan's into kids. You're right.
Boy, you're weird. Stop it, please. Batman is a creature with wings, and he he just gets it all wrong. But then the
I want to
other
retract
kids,
my previous statement about Dan Reba. He's a good man.
yeah, are like, shut him down. No, you are all Jamie. I'm gonna take that fucking soundboard away from you.
Okay.
So you're all wrong. I'm one sentence into this.
all right.
No, you're all wrong. You're full of gas. That ain't it. And the second kid starts telling a story about his uncle, who was a security guard at the Walker Music Center. That museum is set up. The kid starts telling a story. Oh, fucking hell. Museum is set up in the perfect Dick Sprang style, who was the artist of the 50s Batman comics that I love so much. And so this kid, who actually looks a little like the 50s Robin, also the Dick Sprang Robin a little bit, starts telling a story about the music center and his guard uncle who hears the Joker make an announcement on the radio that's confusing. The music, what is it? The music is finished, I think, is what, something like that. And the Jack in the Box pops in, and the Joker's head pops out and gasses him, and he tries to flee and unlocks the door, and of course lets the Joker in. Because that's like, I don't know how he got the Jack in the Box in. Through the window, that's it. So then the Joker starts damaging he takes all the priceless ukuleles, for crying out loud. They're priceless. And so, of course, there's a giant statue of Pagliacci, which is the clown opera. And there's a manuscript from that opera, and he's going to steal it because he's a clown, right? And then Batman sneaks in from the skylight, and he and Robin stop the Joker, and they jump on some drums, they bounce around, and they beat the crap out of some thugs. And so Batman and Robin get beaten up. A sousaphone, tuba-like thing, gets knocked onto Robin. Batman stops to try to get it off him, and then he's clonked by a tuning fork. Bonk, a big giant one. And they get tied up by bowstrings, and they're played in a piano, and the Joker dances on the keys to kill them. And they roll around inside to avoid the keys. And then Batman happens to have a small sort of chainsaw-like device in his utility belt, and he saws off the bowstrings and whatever. We don't see them get away because they do it off camera, and then they boom! But then the Joker's spine would have been shattered by the piano key thing that slides out. Batman and Robin both jump on it. Their full weight on top of that would probably have snapped his spine. He manages to get away, but then Batman has a giant saxophone. He rolls up and captures the Joker, and then he ends up in a giant harp.
Batman has a giant saxophone.
He ends up in a giant harp, and then all tied up on the harp, and that's the end of the section. And the kids are like, "Oh, that's not what Batman is." No, but that's what my uncle said. There you go.
I just figured it's the end of a segment of the episode.
Yeah, fair.
I already lost it. Oh, that's what my uncle said. Where is it? Oh, water? No, beer. And then they encounter Joel, and he tells a little story that they just shut down right away about the Batmobile that rides up walls and stuff. And he's like, oh no, they don't want that. And he's probably going to go into great detail about like costumes having nipples on them and stuff. They're like, no, we don't, Joel, stop it. So they come upon Cozy's Corner, some kind of thrift store. It's been bombed by the Fireflies. So they're like, ooh, this place, yeah, we heard about this. And then Carrie, the girl, starts talking about her version of what Batman is. And he's dark and mysterious, and Robin's a girl. So she starts her story, and then we go into it, and Batman breaks through a wall, grabs the mutant leader that was accosting, not the mutant leader, a mutant, a gang member, and threatens him, removes his visor, and then gets him close to the camera. And then we see the rally with the mutant leader, and it's like this apocalyptic world. And just as he's whipping all his men into a frenzy, the Batmobile tank shows up and starts shooting rubber bullets into the crowd. Honest. And then Carrie hops out of the tank. I don't know why she does that, but it's just like the thing to do. She starts pelting guys with her little BBs, slingshots, probably doing more damage than the rubber bullets. She can probably kill somebody with those. And then Batman confronts the mutant leader and they have it out. They fight in a mud pond, and the mutant leader seems to have an edge on him, drowns Batman in the mud. Robin hits him with her BBs, and then Batman comes out of the mud and lets the mutant leader know that this isn't a mud pit or whatever. This is an operating table, and I'm the surgeon. So then, of course, with the lightning strike, and apparently I would imagine that guy's back breaking off camera, we come out of the story, and then the kids go into a theater, and they think they see Batman flying over, but it's actually not what they thought. You can finish it up starting right there.
Okay.
Is that what they thought? You got it, baby. You got it.
Kerem Mazman.
Wait, I saw exactly where you were pointing. And oh, there it is. So they follow who they think was Batman. So they're going to get the real story. Like, let's see what Batman's really like. So apparently there's some extortion. No, I don't know what the real deal was. Why he needs to burn this down. Yeah, he's like some kind of insurance fraud thing, or it's like some kind of insurance fraud thing or whatever. He's burning this theater down for cash because he's an arsonist. Because an arsonist they need money for their equipment, for fire. So the kids apparently are stuck in this place. He doesn't care. He starts to blow it up. And then Batman finds the kids and takes down the Firefly and manages to break a hole through the wall and to blow it up. And then Batman finds the kids and fucking hell, through a wall. And the kids can escape before it blows up. I wish I could have goosed that moment a little more. What does that mean, Dan? Because the kids finally see Batman and they still kind of they still argue over what he is, which is cool. So they each saw their own versions, and that's what's kind of cool. And the other thing that's cool, I kind of forgot, was that the Bullock makes some comment about who called this one in, and then the kids are by the phone booth, and it's like, oh, that's cute because here the kids actually help Batman out. They did their part, and it's not just fantasy anymore. They actually participated. Fucking ha.
Hell yeah, Dan.
Danny boy, I love you. We're going to get you to shorten those. Episode 144! A little too Thomas Edison. Do you have to pee?
No.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The writers try too hard for feminism. The end? Livewire being transported to Goth Corp or something to be fixed. I think that counts. You said it right, but you didn't know it.
Shit.
She's gonna get her powers removed or whatever, but then she gets her hands on some electricity and she escapes. And then Batman is like, hey, calling for Clark Kent, wink. And Supergirl is all like, well, I'm watching Superman's place. I mean, Clark Kent's place. Why? What's this about? And he's like, it's urgent. Check it out. Anyway, Supergirl teams up with Batgirl.
Sunday on Fox Kids.
And also Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn are like living together at a zoo or whatever. And then Livewire says, hey, let's all team up and we're gonna fuck shit up. And they're like, yep. And then they start to fuck shit up. And then Batgirl and Supergirl are like, let's also fuck shit up. And so they start to fuck shit up. And then they get defeated because water. Episode 145, The Cotton Brethren.
I do feel like I'm getting to the point where words aren't making sense anymore. Okay. Bruce Wayne is at a wedding and he's like, I'm gonna be single forever. And then he catches the garter and this other girl catches the bouquet.
Tomorrow afternoon on Fox.
And they get a picture and suddenly, wait a minute, something is happening. And they dance.
It's also like the SNL guy.
yeah.
Musical guest.
So Bruce is all like, musical guest. Things are different. I'm going to be a fucking creep and spy on this girl that I like, which is a weird name for a band. And then a week later, she proposes and they get married. And then at Bruce's wedding, I say a lot, I've noticed.
Sure
Something's going wrong with Veronica Vreeland, whose wedding we were at the first place. And then he's like, I got to go over there. And his wife is like, I'm perfect, so you go over there. And he's like, okay. And then, her husband, that could be the one for next time. Her husband is like attacking her and the house is on fire, but Bruce saves her. And the husband goes to Poison Ivy and he's like, I can't do this. Check it out. And he's got leafy chest hair, and we're like, oh no! Turns out that these perfect couples are made by Poison Ivy. And then there's the couple's yacht retreat.
What was that about someone trying to fall asleep to this?
Oh, yeah. Which? Who would do that for a honeymoon?
No, just whatever.
Who the fuck would do that for billionaires? Anyway, it's just, these people are talking about their perfect spouses, and they're perfect in every way, and they have green eyes. And, my girl's perfect too. She has green eyes. And Bruce goes, wait a minute. 2 people, newlyweds, marry people with green eyes. Fuck that. And then he gets all pissed off and turns out. And then he gets all pissed off and it turns out I can't fucking do this anymore. Poison Ivy made all these perfect spouses so she could steal their rich people's money, and again, I'm pretty okay with. But then Batgirl and Robin are like, hey, I'm on a plane and I have this herbicide. And Robin got a backpack sprayer full of herbicide and he sprays all the newlyweds and the plant half of the newlyweds, and they start to die, and then everyone gets on Poison Ivy's boat, and then Batman gets away. He says, I'm gonna give up being Batman, and then fast forward.
Yeah.
We needed this. That's a way bigger gulp than I meant to take.
I meant to take that.
Attaboy. Head to the end of the episode, and he's like, I'm not gonna give up being a Batman.
You said this already.
No, he's
not
like,
gonna be a big
not the
Batman.
face either. He's like an Oprah. Guess my wife who's drowning wasn't real. Kaping! Buy a wedding ring. I don't care about this. Episode 146, Jody Veranda. Goal!
Except you said veranda and it's Verdana.
I fucking hate you so much right now. I'm gonna go pee my rage.
Okay. Hey, if you're David L. that just became a Patreon member while we were reading this, holy fucking shit, dude. That's a lot of money.
Can you set your own? Or is that like a tier? Like that's a weird dollar amount for
it's an
tier.
annual membership.
Hey, let's do this. Let's do this to, I'm sorry, what's his name?
David L.
David.
To you, baby boy. Clink, clink. All right. I got to keep playing the music, but Jesus
You have
Christ.
like half a cup of whiskey left. Mine's empty. What's wrong here?
Oh, it's empty? I can make it empty.
Holy shit. That's for David. Don't. Oh my God.
All right.
Oh my God.
We got Jody Verdana.
Veranda.
No. There's a new. What am I doing? What's my shtick? We only got like 5 of these left. What am I gonna do?
NASCAR announcer.
What is that?
Fucking feel it in your balls, man.
Is it the? Is it the? Oh, I feel something. That was weird. Is it?
Is it your balls?
No, I'm a baby. I don't have those. Is it? Is it the, like anyone that goes like, gentlemen, start your engines?
You gotta feel
Actually,
this.
I can do like a.
Don't do Mr. Krabs.
No. I was gonna, brother. We're really coming down, Macho Man, Randy Savage kind of
I don't think
voice.
that's what NASCAR announcers sound like. But
No,
you know what?
it's
You
not.
do you.
This is a Jody Verdana. This is just turning into Mr. Krabs. I'm just going to let it go. There's a new good vigilante in town, and he's not Batman. He's the judge, and he's got a sword. He's making all sorts of people unhappy, but he's a judge, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do about the fact that he's a judge? He's a judge, what are you going to do? It's just what happens. There's the judge, there's a councilman, Corcoran. Drink water.
Wow.
Not Cochran like Johnny Cochran. Okay, so there's Councilman Corcorn, and Corn is essentially, he's got a vigilante in his corner, which is the judge. And Batman's like, I don't know if this is also sort of Flying Dutchman at this point.
Yes,
I don't know if I like this good guy. He's wanting to kill just everybody. And I don't know if I like the whole kill thing. I like the maim thing. But like, I don't know about Corn. I don't know about Corn Morty and his whole like vigilante guy killing guys. So let's not do that. But Corn's like, I'ma do it. And the vigilante's like, I'm also gonna do it. And so it's just like, okay, we're gonna do it. And then it turns out the vigilante is Two-Face in a judge costume, and he's fooled himself, and he doesn't know that that's a thing, and then he goes back to Arkham the end. What the fuck happened, Jamie? You get 147 Tommy down the wine bob.
Man, we're getting into it.
So it's the year 29. 150. It's a big year.
Oh my god, I can't understand anything you're saying.
It's the future. And Brainiac's like, what if I got some Roombas and messed with the past? And this guy's like, don't do it.
Can you enunciate better?
And he goes zoom, and he goes through a portal, and these three other people are like, what if we go zoom through the portal? And so me and Bot go zoom, and these three kids go zoom, and the alien creatures, their names are
So sorry.
Chameleon Boy, Astro Boy,
Oh no.
Cosmo Boy.
That's twice.
And then the girl's name is Saturn Boy. So basically, Brainiac goes to the past, Samurai Jack, with Chameleon Boy and Cosmic Boy and Saturn Boy.
What the fuck you're saying.
And if you want to hear it, you got to go back to listen to the episode.
I guess so. Yeah, we're at this
And
point.
they've got their own powers. It doesn't matter. They do stuff, and they're all like, hello, young Clark Kent, Kal-El. And he's like, what the fuck is that? And they basically spoil all the future for him. And then it's them against Brainiac. And they're trying to come up with clever ways. There's a high school jock that nobody likes who's getting his ass kicked, including the fire department. But by the end of the day, Clark Kent, Kal-El's grandparents-ish are both loaded with shotguns and they're blasting Brainiac. And Clark Kent's getting run over by like a fucking combine, long story short.
Turn the page.
You know what happens? Superman, pre-little boy, boy man, Superboy, Clark boy, the three musketeers saved the day. And they throw Brainiac into a portal where he goes, oh no, the sun, whoa, and gets melted. He's so surprised his skin melts off, which I don't think he has skin, but it looked like he had public skin, and then he was like, ah.
So what it says. Oh no.
This is 148. I'm back bullet on the cardboard pool table with Jordan Newman.
Jesus Christ, man.
Are you okay?
He just says, you didn't do all that shit.
No, he said the big thing. Me?
He, you.
He who?
Couldn't be then. Who? Yeah, we got 3 left, listener. You can do this. All right. We're on the penultimate page here.
Hey, he said the thing he said.
The thing he says.
Just like adjacent.
Just like in JTS Entertainment videos. Oh, okay. Back mullet on a cardboard pool table.
Why are you talking it so normal?
I don't know.
Oh.
when beloved award-winning reporter Jack Ryder.
Wow.
When beloved award-winning reporter Jack Ryder
Give this man an Emmy.
is ambushed by the Joker
Give him a
on a
Grammy.
live broadcast.
Give him an
So-called
Oscar.
world's greatest detective, Batman,
Give him a
fails to
Kanan.
show up in... Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Fails to show up in time to save our beloved icon.
Save our beloved icon. What happened?
Kerem Mazman.
Why do you do this to me?
Why do you do this to me?
Jack Ryder gets ambushed by the Joker. Award-winning reporter and winner of Gotham's Sexiest Man Alive 1997, Jack Ryder.
Jack Ryder.
And he gets hit with the Joker laughing gas. And then he falls into a vat of acid. And he just keeps getting kicked down into the vat of acid. While there's a pretty standard Batman action sequence going on the side. And then he gets whirlpool sucked down the drain, out into the Gotham Bay, which is a terrible place to put your toxic waste. And Batman sees the tattered on-fire shirt of Jack Ryder in the water, and figures there's no point further investigating this as the world's greatest detective, and turns away and walks away, resigning himself to the fact that he has let Jack Ryder die. Time to go home, Robin. Jack Ryder emerges, now a yellow-skinned wacky man from the sewers, giggling and doing news things in a humorous way. And he decides that he is gonna need a new outfit because he's yellow now, and he goes into his clothing store, and the retail worker there is fed up and has seen everything and is completely unfazed by this. And he gets a big red boa that's very fashionable, and then he decides that he's gonna go get revenge on the Joker. So he thrashes the Joker's hideout, or some pool house where he knows that the Joker henchman will be for some reason. And he sees Harley. Harley swings by because she's been kicked out by the Joker after she made a big pie and he didn't want the big pie. He's... Pie. Your like face is fading in and out over top of me. He sees Harley, he's infatuated, and he does my favorite thing in this episode, where he disrespectfully no-look punches Batman out of frame. So he decides he's gonna go after Harley, and then Harley assumes that she successfully kills him by dropping a marble statue on top of him. It's the last word of the sentence. He has the tune.
Not the last word.
He has the Toon Force, and so he's fine. And she goes back home, and Creeper... Oh yeah, he's calling himself the Creeper now. That's a thing that happened during the episode. And he follows her, and she's like, I'm gonna take Joker's... Or he's like, I'm gonna take Joker's, place? Or his shtick? I don't know. He doesn't seem to want to be a criminal. He just doesn't like Joker. And I'm gonna take Harley for myself because he's a creeper. And Joker explodes him. That seems to have no consequence, but it does tell Batman where they are. And Batman gets there, and then there's a super chaotic parade float and Joker-mobile big chase scene, with Robin doing some radical, effectively skateboarding on the back of on a rope attached to the Joker-mobile. And everything crashes in the toxic waste pit, and Robin almost falls to his death, but thankfully he has a cape. And Creeper continues to be creepery toward Harley, and then Batman finally catches up to him and injects him with a thing that knocks him out. And it seems at the end that Batman has invented some sort of cure for Jack Ryder to wear in patch form on his arm, and the curiosity just gets the better of him, and it seems that he may occasionally just change into the Creeper anyway for fun. You have our penultimate episode, Blowtorches and Body Parts, 149.
There is a swimsuit model thing going on like a runway. Jimmy and Clark are there to cover the event, and all these toys busting in are like, hi, I am an astronaut. I'm a kidnap this girl, and the other's like, hi, I'm a cowboy. That's the worst thing I've done all night.
You chose a different Green Day song than we were making fun of earlier today. which was on a later podcast episode and doesn't make sense to anyone.
Jamie,
What?
this is time modulation.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm a cowboy, and I'm going to kidnap this girl. And the other girl was like, what was the other one?
Oh, I'm out of water, but I'll drink coffee.
Okay.
That's got water in it.
Oh, fuck, where was I? Oh, and a knight comes in and is like, hi, I'm a knight. I'm going to steal this girl. They definitely all spoke words at all. They definitely all spoke words at all? Mm-hmm. What the fuck am I saying? Who is this man? And they try to steal the girl, and and Clark's like, uh-oh, gotta be Superman real quick. And Superman's like, don't steal the girl. And he punches the astronaut and gets her back. And then he's like, man, I gotta like figure this out. And the toy man's like, hey, I'm hanging out. And the cowboy comes back with his head, like holding on to his head, like the headless horseman or whatever. And he's like, well, I didn't get you, and he definitely uses these words, I didn't get you the girl that you wanted, but I did get you her robe. And he sniffs it. The toy man sniffs it like a creep. And then her hotel or whatever room key falls out of her robe for whatever reason.
Close enough.
We gotta finish this beer.
Yeah.
So Superman and Clark, same person, they're checking out her apartment. Oh, what?
Yes.
Spoilers!
Just now we're learning this.
They're checking out her apartment. And she gets back and she's like, whoa, what's going on here, Clark? And then a giant fighting kangaroo robot comes smashing through the window and has a big fight with Superman. There's the fight, and Darcy, the DM, she trips and smashes her face against a mirror. A marble plant pot thing, whatever, like clocks herself really good. We all exclaimed, big boom, big bada boom. And so she smashes her face and then she has a mysterious crack on her face. And I was like, called it. And then we're gonna fast forward.
Kerem Mazman.
Darcy, in her makeup room, makeuping. And by makeuping, I mean torching her face and screwing screws back in because she's like a robot. Uh-oh. And then Lana walks in and is like, oh my God, you're a robot? And she's like, yeah, I'm a robot. And then she goes to walk away and then Lana's like,
sorry.
can I help you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Lana, I don't quite get what the whole like fighting part was. It's just kind of like it happened. They didn't have fighting words. There's no escalation. It was just like Lana went to, I don't know, leave. So yeah, the blowtorch stays on. It gets knocked over. It starts, she's on fire. It rapidly sets the rest of the building on fire and Superman comes in. And so what after that?
I don't know.
You say that.
Oh, I say Superman comes and claps the fire away.
Oh my fuck. That's so many U's. Yes, yeah. Close your ears, Lana. And then he turns around and he just goes, and the fire goes.
You're good.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. It doesn't go out, by the way. It
Dog
just
sound.
like blows. O-U-O-U-O-U-U-H-H-H exclamation point, exclamation
That's
point,
what he
exclamation
said.
point. Anyway, it doesn't go out, by the way. It just like blows. And then he's like, that's done. So Superman claps out the fire and then Darcy goes to confront Toyman. Toyman captures her. She can't be hurt she can't hurt him because of her programming or whatever bullshit. And then Superman has to fight a video game and then he beats the video game. And then we don't get to see Chekhov's on-off switch hanging out in the toy helicopter because Toyman and Helicopter Girl go away in the toy helicopter. They're getting away and she's like, well, I can't kill you directly. You! But I can kill you indirectly by threatening your life, by ending your life, which is something she couldn't do. But then she did it anyway because, I don't know, the end. She gets away. She gets away. She survives. And she takes a train. Goodbye.
Goodbye. It's very ominous.
Episode 150. Mr. Mesotheli. Oh, You have a special? Oof.
This is. Oh my God! It's the right note. Yeah!
Oh my God!
That was so good. Oh
Wow.
Okay, so you start out by watching Bizarro fly around
Wow, this is art.
and live his life for little too long, then mesothelioma
That was a little weird.
shows up and is like, hey, and then he plays a doctored up video of Lois and Superman making fun of him.
Wow.
Throws him back into the real world. I'm assuming he was on a different world, and then he goes on this little rampage. Rips a train open, breaks a tunnel, gets in a fight with Superman over the course of the next third of the episode, I'd say, which is just kind of going on. In the background, they're just fighting for a while.
I'm ready with this bell.
While other things are happening, they smash up a museum. Mesothelioma gets radiation treatment and isn't cancer anymore for the next 90 days. And then Superman helps Bizarro and goes, hey, look, he helps him up off of the ground and goes, see, I'm a good guy.
Oh my God.
Just because he helped him up. Oh, he did block the gun. Yeah, that's true. He blocked the gun, then helped him up and went, see, I'm good. And he's like, oh, you are good. And then he played a shake the baby with mesothelioma. And then they got put back on their, oh, and then Superman also handed him a live grenade. He just throws the pin. Then he goes back to his world where he's, and then Superman confronts Mr. Cancer and he says, oh, you have a community service. I got an idea. Throws him back onto Bizarro's world to be his friend for the next 90 days, where he's gotta evade space Bugsy like a Starship Troopers alien. That's essentially it. Whoa!
Jamie motherfucking Strecker.
I kind of fucked up at the end there, but that's okay.
Damn, dude.
It fit pretty perfectly.
Damn. Well, fuck, we got some beer.
Mesothelioma.
Cheers to you, buddy.
Clonk.
Kalonk indeed.
Cheers to the listener for making it all the way through. If you did, if you stopped like 2 hours ago, I do not blame you.
But if you made it this far, you
baby.
are in the running.
Yeah, well, you gotta comment something. Last time we asked them to comment bat feet if they made it all the bat-feet.
Yeah.
I think it should be
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God. I think that should be a different thing this time. Because Dylan did send us some feet pics. That was very nice of him. He did it very,
know.
very ahead of time.
What a babe.
I know. It's pretty cool.
Send us pictures of your butt. What?
Hello.
Hello.
No, let's not do that. I was slightly distracted, and then it all absorbed into my brain at the same time. Bat butt. What did they comment to win? So what you're entering to win the printout of the Yopisode guide that we just read, signed by us.
We will ship it to you anywhere in the world. He says through Cringing Teeth. Let's
I think
see.
we opened it up to that
Let's
last
see.
time.
I'm going to point here. They need to comment Jonathan Kent.
Ooh, okay. Just that, only that. If you comment anything else in the comment, you're out of the running.
You can do 2 comments.
If you spell it wrong, it's still wrong.
It's from it's the last. You have to. It's specifically the last Jonathan Kent from episode 113 because I think we probably said.
No, we said
just
it
once.
differently though.
It's just once. It's just one. There's just one Jonathan Kent.
Jonathan Kent.
Yeah. So if you can say Jonathan
Kent, that's it.
Jonathan Kent. Don't worry about the spelling too much. Well, no, we know
this
what
isn't
you
some
mean.
trick where you have to comment this exact full paragraph we
No,
just said.
literally just the
Jonathan
2
Kent.
words, Jonathan and then Kent.
And then that whole thing is what you need to comment. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Should you write like a special message in here? Like we did that last time, right?
Well, it'll be a random pick, so it's not like you can do it any better than anybody else anyway. You know?
I dropped the pen.
You dropped the pen.
That
What an
might
idiot.
suck. Here we go. I'm going to do with this pen. What am I going to write?
I don't know.
Jamie, give me some inspiration here.
You got to write something? Write Brian Manili in your handwrite in your
Do you want
signature.
you want me to write? You want me to write my signature because that's not Brian Manili.
Or what do you do? Brian
I
Manili?
just do.
Whoa, what the fuck does that mean?
So there's kind of like, okay, I'm going to walk you through this.
Let me give.
So you get the B, right? The R.
Nobody can see this.
The R is here. Who the listener who wins this?
Oh,
will.
you're right. They'll understand.
The R is kind of this arc, and then this is supposed to be the I, but then it does this whole move, and this slice is dotting the I, and then there's just an M with another equivalent slice.
Man eel. Why?
Yeah. Oops, dyslexia. The K went first. AKA.
Known also as.
I love you.
Right, you're professing your love to someone you don't even know who's going to win. ...
For loving ... me back. ... Wait. ... What's your name?
Oh, you gotta drink water.
Okay, Jamie. Now it's all you.
Okay. Mine looks like my name because my signature doesn't really exist. It's just me writing my name fast.
Isn't that all signatures are?
I suppose so.
Except for mine, which is great.
I do a little Batman head at the end also, so you get that.
Is that what that is? Where are
It's
the
kind of
ears?
a bad one. It's right here. I'll make it slightly better.
Can you just do a better one?
I love you more.
Yeah, that's true. He wants to
Parentheses,
divorce his wife
canon.
to get with you.
I'll do like a average at best attempt at a Batman head here.
Yeah. I'll like several whiskeys and a couple
Yeah,
beers
that's
in.
why. Oh, his eye is really fucked up. I'm so sorry. And then he's gonna be
This is
doing
good content.
he's gonna be doing oh god.
He's got an
I
alligator for a
fucked
hand?
It up. Oh god, I'm fucking it up so hard. I'm fucking it up.
He's got a wrench hand.
I was trying to do okay, I'm gonna do
Wow.
a little stick.
Oh.
And there's a heart at the end of the stick. And it's for whoever wins this.
Okay.
Batman.
So my problem is that I don't draw.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this is what I do.
You can't attach juggling to the paper.
Shut the fuck up. I can do what I want.
Oh,
I'm kind of
what are you doing?
problematic here. Hold on.
Problematic. I don't like where this is going.
No, I meant the chord is problematic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Chord's racist.
Okay.
You can attach a photo to the paper.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to attach one of my photos. Oh, I got this cute little photo from a fjord in Norway. Yeah, fuck it. There you go. Tiny little Norway
Norway fjord.
Because I don't draw, but I do photo.
Norway fjord. Let's go get some Norway fjord. Norway fjord. Goodbye, listener. We'll see you. Oh my God!
Saved it. Not a drop.
Well, I think that's the. Oh no, that's the new one.
Yep.
Good job.
Is.
Yeah, we'll see you probably next week, I guess, at this point, for the first episode of Batman Beyond.
We said comment. I think we meant on the YouTube video.
We sure did.
But also, if you want to comment on the Spotify or Apple, whatever, I don't know. YouTube's probably the best way to do it.
YouTube. It has to be YouTube.
So, you know where to find that.
So if you heard the rules of the thing, then you stopped listening right immediately, and sorry.
Podtower YouTube channel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't push that hard. Okay, see you guys later.
Listener.
Stay yoppy.
You stay. Happy New Year.
Happy 2025.
Have a better year than you've had yet. Have just the greatest fucking year. Don't you laugh at me. There's an audience outside the window. It's really weird.
I know. They're always laughing at you.
Yeah. Anyway, no, seriously, thank you for making it this far and sticking with this insanity. I don't know why you did it, but you are. Fuck, you're special. You're one of the good ones. Okay, Jamie's pressing buttons. I'm going to let him go.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you more. Bye. Mwah.